Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method. In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork.
You don't see the curvature of the earth. That stuff is flat.
GLOBEBUSTERS taking over. Bye bye moon man and rover. NASA so mediocre. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is GLOBEBUSTERs taking over. Gotta ride this roller coaster, but the truth is getting closer. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is. Get the shovel for the spice hubble, piecing up the puzzle. Need to burst your bubble. Evil gonna crumble, yeah. Sit down and be humble. Got the ball, you better fumble. You get mad cause at this fight I'm Bob's your uncle.
And then they call me the liar. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable the pathetic techniques that they have to use to prove their heliocentric model.
Bob shot the president, Jeran got the evidence. Arrows slaying Jesuits and Zack is evident. That the earth electric and it's resonant. Your residence is heavens and I hope to settle in like some sediment. If we so wrong, why they lying to discredit it? That's not too intelligent. That's a guy, not an in court, but we ain't really in the settlement. It's time to awaken from the pseudoscience sedatives.
GLOBEBUSTERs taking over. Bye bye moon man and rover. NASA so mediocre. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is GLOBEBUSTERs taking over. Gotta ride this roller coaster, but the truth is getting closer. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is.
Inner World Productions.
And welcome everybody to GLOBEBUSTERS. It is the season 12 finale, 12.8. We'll be taking your calls tonight or today or this afternoon or this morning, wherever you, depending on where you're at. But that is the plan for today. And so let's get it going. We've got a couple members on the panel today. We've got first Zachary Zabala. Good times for all. Zach, good morning. Good afternoon, I guess, for you. Good evening to you.
Jeran,
Thank you. Hello. How are you? Welcome.
how's it going, man?
Fantastic. Thanks. Glad to be here.
We cannot hear you talking. I know you are talking. I heard you on the stream,
What do you mean you can't hear me?
but for you, for Witted and I, you are muted.
Wait,
It's
what?
weird.
Hold on. But how can you hear me right now?
So I don't hear you talking at all right now. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, that's weird.
I muted you on an accident.
So how are we having a conversation? How was I just
I
talking
don't
to
know.
you? How'd you know I
What?
called
No,
you?
I thought that I could like locally mute you because I was trying to hear something at the same time. And when I did it, I guess it like actually muted you for the whole call. Then I went to unmute you and I couldn't.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I was talking to Zach. I said, Zach, it's a ball, good times for all. And then he said, what's up, Jeran? How did he know that? How did he know I was talking to him?
I heard you on the live stream.
But that
I
would
was
be way
listening.
behind, wouldn't it?
Coincidence.
Oh, that's
Just
so
a coincidence that he was saying what's up to you to tell you that you were muted.
That's so weird. I'm tripping now. I'm tripping out. All right. Well, welcome to the show, Zach. Now you can hear me? We're good?
Yes, everything is
Okay,
good.
good. Glad that we are on.
Yeah.
So how's it going?
Good day today, man. I woke up from the wildest dream.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I've never had a dream like this before. I was, in a dream, and then all of a sudden, Bob appeared. And instantly I became like lucid. It wasn't like Bob appeared and it was back in the day, where I believed he was alive. I mean, I knew he had passed and we were just having a conversation. It was wild. And he told me that I'm going to see snow this year. So I was like, well, thanks. So he was giving me a heads up that I'm going to see snow. And then he was like, I want to go run through a field of snow right now. He was like, check this out. And was like, bloop. And we were standing in the middle of a field of snow.
Wow.
And then we were just running and shoulder to shoulder, just running through a field. It was wild. It was the most, I don't even know how to explain it. But I feel, that might be me telling myself that Bob's okay. Wherever he is, he's ruling his new universe wherever he may be. It was just a great feeling to wake up knowing, hey, he's doing okay. He's not in pain anymore. He's not scared wherever he is. And he's doing things that, I would expect him to do with all power, come up and show off, be like, hey, check this out. Bloop.
Very cool.
We're standing in a field of snow. So yeah, it's been an awesome day. It's just been, yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot today.
Let's say happy birthday to Melodome in the chat. Austin, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Austin.
Happy birthday.
Happy
I believe
birthday.
he's 37 years old, I believe.
I believe that's correct. And it might not be today. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. I forgot when I saw the post, either yesterday or today. It's his birth around there. So there you go. And DJ New Moon in the house. New Moon, can you answer me this one question? Is that you who was on the phone with David Weiss on his video about his Facebook page? I'm just going to ask you that just so I can get an answer. Just answer yes or no, and then we can go from there. But it would be easier than me having to do a bunch of crazy research. Some people have... No. Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to see. Thank you very much. All right. And we also have Austin Whitsitt. He does need his own introduction. Austin, welcome.
What's up, brother?
Nothing much. We're just getting ready to go. We're going to do the... we're going to call it the season finale. We've got obviously a busy month coming up. And GLOBEBUSTERS will be taking a hiatus. I'm not sure about the Thursday show, just as far as the Sunday show. And then we're going to come back on January 5th. So mark that on your calendars. Sunday, January 5th at noon again. And we are probably going to have a new host. We're not going to tell you who, but there's going to be somebody who's taking the helm. We'll still be here. It'll be all the same people. Austin, myself, Zack, and Eru. That is the plan, but with somebody at the helm who will be basically presenting and kind of running the show. So we're excited about
Duffy,
that.
somebody put in chat.
Yeah, Duffy's going to be in charge of the show. No, that'd be like a 6-hour show too, for just as slow as he talks.
So are you guys kind of nervous? The nerves setting in a little bit?
I think that my problem is that I've been starting to try and get my bag together, and it's just impossible. I mean, the fact that they only allow you 55 pounds.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
think.
It's insane. And so it comes down to it. You're gonna have basically like you'll have like one hoodie and one pants, and you have to wear that the whole time. It's just kind of insane because you have to so much stuff you got to bring, and then a bunch of stuff's required. They actually come into your hotel room, I guess, the night before and go through your bags to make sure you have everything on the checklist. So it's just gonna be a nightmare. I think I've like weighed everything together just to see what it would be, and it was like 80 something pounds. I'm like, great. How do you eliminate 30 pounds?
Dude, how do you eliminate 30 pounds of stuff you
like,
need?
Get rid of these socks, get rid of this shirt. All right, what's it now? But yeah, that's the problem. So anyway,
well, maybe on the plane and whatnot, wear like 3 pairs of socks.
Yeah, you're right. Or
2
just
pairs of pants,
yeah,
double, triple
that's
up
fine.
if you need to. And you could always take it off when you get there, you know?
Yeah, no, not looking forward to it at all. If that's what you're asking. And so I wanted to show you one thing that I saw that came up today that I thought was great evidence of the flat Earth. The Antarctic trip is in 10 days, so I leave in 10 days. Austin, what did you leave? The 10th? Supposed to be, I think. I don't know if it's the 10th.
I think so. I don't even know.
I don't know. I gotta check that stuff. All right.
He sounds real worried.
Well, it's just like we're gonna be gone the whole month of December. Just know that, I guess.
Yeah.
So let me show you. We've got this video. If you guys know, let me get his name right because I always get it wrong. Is Bo BMLSB69 had a video today. Let's see if we can bring this up. This is a great flat Earth proof, and this is for, I don't know if you've heard Globers actually say that we don't see too far. You guys heard this one? No, we never see too far. Let's see this.
No, I can't believe they're still saying it.
They still say it, but let's watch this one. Turn down the volume. I need the volume in there. So this is from Thousand Steps Beach from a 70-foot elevation. And what I like to do is when somebody says 70 feet, because usually sometimes they're taking the elevation of the area. So let's just give it an extra 10 feet. We can call it 80 for the point of if he's standing at 70 feet plus a tripod, we'll just give it 80. I like to err on the side of the globe, give them as much leeway as we can. And then 33 miles out to the Anacapa Arch, which is right there. You can see that little tiny arch above the water. And there's the lighthouse, which is 277 feet high. There's a picture of it from kind of far back, so you can see what the actual shape and layout of it is.
Didn't Travis, A Plain Truth, do this one back in the day?
Yeah, I think it's one of those that are pretty concrete.
Famous.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great area to just show that we definitely see too far. So any Glober telling you we don't, this is one you might want to bring them and show them. Now look at this picture. He's zooming in. Now you can see the arch. See it there? You can see the Anacapa Arch. That's at 40 feet from sea level. You can see the, obviously you can see the lighthouse. And then in a second here, as he starts to zoom back, we're going to show you a picture of it from a little far back. He'll zoom out here in a second. And then you'll get to see like a profile picture basically from up close compared to the far away picture. Okay, there. So let's just stop and think real quick here. So this is, again, we can see we're lined up at the right spot. You can see the, let me do it over here. Move out of the way thing. You can see the Anacapa arch here, which you can see the opening of it here. We got the brakes here. We got the lighthouse. Okay, great. So let's bring up StreamYard. StreamYard. Let's bring up, what's that thing called? I can't think of the name. Metabunk curve calculator. Just so we can push in those numbers and see what the globe calls for. And then we'll see what Flat Earth calls for. All right, so we've got Metabunk curve calculator here. And we'll move this over. All right, so you guys should be able to see that. Hopefully, I don't know if it's, yeah, good enough. So I'm putting up here, let me go back a little bit. There we go. So distance in miles, we're going to do 33. We said we're going to give them the extra amount of feet. So we're going to go 80 feet high rather than 30 or rather than 70. We're doing advanced, so it includes all the approximations of refraction. So look at the refraction hidden, 256 feet. Okay, so we just saw the top of an arch that's 40 feet off the water. So 256 feet, that's with refraction. This is a no-brainer. I mean, the geometric hidden amount is 324. So that means that geometrically, you shouldn't see that lighthouse at all. The lighthouse is actually shorter than that. Right, so we go back.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a monumental one. So let's go back here. So again, you're talking about that little opening in the arch down there. There's only 40 feet off the water, yet we can see the opening. And you can see through this opening, and then you see, I mean, this is all supposed to be hidden. If this is, what did he say the lighthouse was? 2 something, I forgot what the lighthouse is. Lighthouse was, there we go. So 277 feet is the lighthouse, but again, even with the, what was the refracted hidden? I just had that up. Refracted hidden is 256.
256.
Right. So, oops, not there. 256. So, yeah, I mean, it should maybe see this part of the lighthouse. You know, it should be about here. So, I mean, that's a ton of refraction that is basically, and again.
And then you'd have to add diffraction. Well, I don't know if diffraction would be all that much with that size of a camera.
I don't know either.
You know, the aperture that size. But if you could see that with the human eye, then diffraction would definitely come into place over that. I mean, it's 5.5 feet at just 3 miles. So going way out there like that, 30 miles, I'm sure it'd be quite a bit to add on to it.
Sorry, I was just reading the chat there. No, Dearth, somebody tried to scam Dearth and take over his Facebook page by offering him money and then making some joke about flat earthers at the end of it. But Dearth was smart enough to watch it. But a lot of people recognized the voice and think it sounds a lot like a New Moon. So we were just asking him, which, hey, sorry to ask you, but when you've already been found to have scammed something, then it's usually, don't be surprised if you get asked again. So yeah, there's that. I mean, you can just tell right here what's going on here. So barely, if you can even see that would be where the bottom, like if somebody said, oh, the bottom is covered, which they always say, just because that's, I guess, their get out of jail free card. But you can actually see that it's like right there. See that? So it's like either a little bit of haze or like a cloud, but you can still see the top of the arch. Again, you can see that. It's only 40 feet high. So, I mean, again, the Earth is definitely...
This guy's taken so many pictures already that, like, the big one that everybody knows... You know, they call it the Black Swan. With the oil rigs? That was Bo. He's been doing this. Like I said, this was the first person I ever talked to in Flat Earth back in 2015. At the end of 2015, because I was getting ready to get my camera, and he was helping me, you know, pick one out and this and that and all kinds of stuff. He's been at this forever.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good showing you where the curvature should be with geometrically. It's just not there. What channel is this arch video? It's from BMLSB69, Bo's channel. There you go. You can see it right there. Flat Earth Brothers in the house. There's another awesome globe killer. So we had that one. I think that's great to put. I'll put a link in the chat for you. Add to your arsenal. There we go. Because that one, I mean, you just have to believe then that everything in the curved Earth is displayed flat. I guess is what it means. And then the other thing that I saw this week was the Blue Origin launch, and of course, man, that girl. I hate girls that give Italians a bad name. Calandretti is her name. Have you seen? Well, she's like cute if she wasn't about space.
The person in the
she
seat
makes her
next to
so
me
unattractive.
didn't know them; they were a stranger. They were watching Emily Calandrelli videos. And
You've probably seen her before. She's on a bunch of stuff. They call her the space gal or something. This girl here, she went on this trip. Now, I'm not. A lot of people call this fake, right? And I'm not sure about it. I don't think that it's that big of a deal that we need to call it fake, because what they're ultimately doing is just a reverse bungee jump. They're throwing people as high as they can. So you just light a rocket underneath them, right? Get it up as high as you can. And then basically, if you think of a trajectory of a baseball, if you throw a baseball up in the air as high as you can, and then it's coming back down, well, there's a period of time where the ball would be essentially weightless, right? Which is when it gets to nearly the top of its peak and it goes through, and they call it a parabolic. That's why they call it parabolic flight. Same thing that planes do. When you get towards the top of your peak, that time between there and when you are at the top of the peak, and then when you're starting to come down, there's a period of time where the ball is weightless. And so all they're doing is they're throwing this capsule up as high as they can. Then they basically let it fall back down, giving the people weightlessness. But it's literally like 2 minutes of weightlessness.
Wow, I cannot imagine what our 6 astronauts
So it's like a 12-minute flight, 12-minute ride that costs you $300,000 or whatever it is that they're charging people. And it's just like a trick. It's just this is their excuse now to convince people that this is space travel. Oh, we now have commercial space travel because we can throw you up in the air as high as we can, and then you'll get so high that you'll do a little parabolic maneuver, and then it comes down and lands again. This whole thing. But again,
really expensive gravitron.
Right? Yeah, it's just not very cool at all. So it just depends on you. I don't see a reason to just call it out as all out fraud, because I'm not really sure. They certainly don't have any of the video footage during the trip. So, like,
Soon here we'll hear that
and even if you look in the comments, people are saying the same thing. Like, how do we have GoPros everywhere? Literally GoPros everywhere, but they cannot give us a live feed from inside the capsule during these trips. You just don't see it till
They
days
need their
after.
privacy.
Yeah, that's what they say, I think, too. The only thing I saw when this thing was landing, see if you guys can see this. So I started seeing, I see the top of it there, then I see it kind of go away, but look right here. Like, I can see the mountain. I don't know. If somebody has a video editor where they could put that in, it just seemed like the mountain's there. Right? Look at you.
And
Keep looking.
touchdown.
The whole mountain's there.
What an incredible sight to see. Let's let this dust
And then they
clear
switch
and
to
we'll
scenes, and now there's the
There
craft.
it
Okay, great.
is.
And listen to this.
Super booster standing tall on the landing pad. Again, love the sight of that West Texas dust. It clears and it's like almost it's a magic trick. It's like, here's the booster. Yeah, the booster return is truly one of our
It's weird. It's like a magic trick. I know it looks fake, but it's really real. It really looks real, but I mean, it looks fake, but it's really real. It's just funny. Put those in there.
proudest moments.
And then they get back, and of course, Callan. Oh, this is another thing. It's supposed to launch those it's supposed to fire out the bottom, so it softens their landing.
Watch
supposedly,
for that cloud.
that thing
of
did not
dust.
fire.
50
Watch
miles
it.
an hour that will, like you
Watch
said,
it.
increase to just 1 or 2 miles an hour. Let's take a look.
Watch this.
Watch for that cloud of dust.
I even slowed
1
it
or
down.
2 miles an hour. No way.
No way. Let me see this. Go here. We're
That
gonna
thing
go
was moving.
Playback speed to 0 or 0. Can you go slower than that, Noah? Never seen that
No, I
before.
think it's just
Okay.
0.25. Yeah.
Let's watch this.
Here,
No sound. Okay. Because again, this thing's supposed to. It's coming down pretty good clip, and
That's like 1 to 2 mile an hour. The slow motion right here.
now watch this. Let's see. I mean, for me, there's no way this is worth the risk. There's just no way. I mean, they tried to send some people down to see the Titanic, and all those people died in there. I mean, let's see. I didn't see. Let's go. Can we go pause and then back arrow? So remember, it's supposed to fire a rocket out the bottom. That looks like it hits the ground. I don't know. Maybe that is coming out the bottom of it. I don't know. But it hits that, and then of course, like everybody says, there's no ambulance
Should
that
be
shows up.
ambulances
Right.
on site.
No, there's just some people show up here in a few minutes. Drive over there. This girl cries about her friend getting to see space. and then they let him get out. And of course, everyone's got the same story. Let's see here. Get these people out of here. There's, I don't know who that guy is. Oh, that guy is a guy that says he went for the ride to stop anti-Semitism.
You're
So that's cool. That's his reason for going.
Congratulations.
Let me see who we got here.
You couldn't have found a better way, just
No,
To help.
that's the best way. It's the only way, really.
with $300,000.
And there are those big hugs. Oh my gosh, what a special moment
So special.
in what just happened.
Oh, here we go.
And how high are they supposedly going?
They go above 50 miles,
50,
so I
50.
think it's...
Everyone's like, is this going to prove the Earth's a globe? I'm like, I don't think so. No. And then they're like, nothing would ever prove. I'm like, no, send me to space. Yeah, if I can get a free trip to space out of this too. Oh, imagine how triggered they'll get if I can pop up 50 miles. And then I'll be like,
How did you get on?
No, the rise
How did you get on
pretty
Alex
flat, actually.
Jones anyway? That's impossible. If anybody gets on Alex Jones, is a shill.
It's must
impossible.
have taken the Jesuit oath.
Yeah, it must have been.
So I was like, no, actually, it turns out the horizon was pretty flat up there, though.
Yeah.
And I
So I
think
guess I
one
need to
really
go
special thing we've
out
heard about
into
all these
space. So
astronauts is
not just
that
going
they
a
are
reverse
so
bungee jump.
philanthropic. They inspire the next generation, and I'm sure that.
Oh, here we go. Now
this
we got to hear the
experience, they're gonna
crying.
Give back and share.
I was like counting down to Miko. I was like, let us get to Miko. Come on. And once we got to Miko, I was like, boom, I'm not scared anymore. That kick in your pants from separation is wild. It is wild. I had to tell my brain, like, this is normal. This is expected. It's supposed to be a kick in the pants. Oh my gosh. And we got to weightlessness. I immediately turned upside down and looked at the planet, and then there was so much blackness. There was so much space. I didn't expect to see so much space. And I kept saying, like, that's our planet. That's our planet. It was the same feeling I got when my kids were born. And I was like,
Oh,
that's
boy.
my baby. That's my baby. And I, like,
what a
had that
psycho.
same feeling where I'm like,
It's not
seeing
the
it
same
for the first time. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Incredible.
Okay. No tears.
How is this girl
Oh
not
my
mentally
God.
unstable?
Thank you.
I think she is. I think we just prove it.
Thank you. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it.
This guy's got some
She's
important things to say.
overtly an
Will.
actor.
Yeah, she is.
Emotional, incredible, experience that Emily just shared.
So touching.
So touching.
Beyond
Let's
anything
tune
Fake
in.
news.
I expected before.
Here's this guy,
And
Austin. You'll like
it's-
his comments.
Perspective that adds to
Why are you
the
looking down?
mission that I'm on to combat hate and anti-Semitism.
Oh,
See,
Oh, you started fake
seeing the
crying.
world from up that high, where you don't see the borders, you don't see the
Right.
divisions, you don't.
you do know that you believe that you're
shocker
God's,
that you
God's chosen
don't want
people.
any borders. What a
God's chosen people, but we're all the same. We're all together, except for we are
borders.
chosen.
Except for our ethno state.
All of the lines that divide us, where we hate each other. We're all one people. We're on this very fragile, small planet.
Oh boy,
It's amazing.
yeah, it's a
You
big
see the
advertisement.
Pacific.
And then this guy, I wanted to hear because I think that they don't ever see stars. And tell me if this guy says he could see stars. I can't really understand this. What he's saying.
How many wings did you clip to get the ticket
I
though?
didn't get sick. So great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
33.
How was the view?
The view is amazing, and I can tell you there's really nothing ever in the world like going into space. When you cross that Kármán line, as you come up to it, you really see nothing, and you're into nothing, and the stars are going, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
What does he say? He said something about the stars. So then you see nothing, then you're in the nothing, then the stars.
Dude,
Are, what?
he's acting like it's a literal physical line that when you get
Right.
past it, it's like poof.
Like, how
you're
did
in
you see
space
it?
all of a sudden.
In the world, like going into space, when you cross that Kármán line, as you come up to it, you really see nothing, and you're into nothing, and the stars are going, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
The stars are gorgeous.
Wow, so you really see nothing until you get past the arbitrary Kármán line, and then boom, you can see the stars.
Yeah, but we've got Leroy Chow, NASA astronaut, who says you cannot see the stars whether you're on the daytime or nighttime side of Earth. If you look out into the blackness of space, you can't see stars. So again, this guy needs to talk to Leroy Chow, who's been up way higher than him and can't see them, but this guy can. So that makes sense. That makes sense. We're all just part of Emily's spinning curvy world. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, we're all very lucky to be there. So that is that. I wanted to show. Did I have to show you one other thing? We wanted to say goodbye to Arwen. I heard Arwen's channel got removed. Goodbye, Arwen. But I might have the. Well, he's had some choice things for me to say about me. So.
Oh yeah, he's definitely said some things about both of you.
Let me see if I can find. You think? And Bob.
Yeah.
So, there's definitely some things to say about Bob. But
He came and apologized to me.
Did he? Never did that to me.
Yeah.
Oh, he forgot about me. He couldn't find me. Let me see if I can bring this up for you just real quick. It's just going to play over here. This is just one scene that I had to show you because I knew I had it somewhere. This is Arwen versus The Fly. It's going to be a movie coming out soon. Let me bring this up just so we get a good laugh. I need a good laugh today. It's still too much size there. Let's go down. There. Move it up. There. Let's try it.
Consciousness felt that and realizes that God. Die, you fucking piece of shit!
Sorry about the language. I didn't. Sorry for.
What the?
Fucking die!
And then he's.
Die!
What kind of fly is this?
Die!
It's a horse.
Get the fucking hint.
You gotta give it to him, man. He just really doesn't care what people think.
No, not at all. At the least.
That's actually pretty cool. He's gotten way cooler in my eyes. He's like, I don't care that I'm literally live
Fucking
streaming.
fly again. Yeah, I would hurt a fucking fly. Those fucking flies.
Okay. We need to be friends to each other, and like when somebody starts
Getting in my face, literally in front of my face, in between me and the camera, in the middle of my esoteric talk. You fucking die, you piece of shit!
Okay. Sorry. Sorry, Trevor.
It's awesome,
That's
bro.
good stuff, though, man. That is really good stuff. It literally in between the screen and my face. He's literally there.
In my esoteric talk.
Oh man! So if you have friends or family that are on YouTube and they get to start acting like that, take them aside and just say, "Can you take a break? Just a 2-week break, just to relax, just cool off." The fly didn't do that much damage to you, but I do give flies a warning. So I'm a nice guy. I say, "Fly, I'm telling you right now, you don't get out of here, you're gonna die." Just telling you.
Dude, I talk to everything like it fully understands me.
Yeah, sometimes they leave. They don't want to bother me. So
I'm like, all right, bro. Look, I get it, but yeah, dope.
have you ever been stung by a bee without asking for it?
What?
Have you ever been stung by a bee without asking for it? I've only been stung once, and it was because my friend told me you could put them in your hand and cup your hands, and they would fly around there and not sting you. That's like a joke to do to somebody, because if you do that, you'll definitely get stung. So I got stung that way, and then also when I was driving to work one time, a wasp flew into my shirt. I had my arm out the window, like my elbow out the window, and a wasp flew into my shirt, and I felt this little tickle. I'm like, what was that? And then I got stung like 18 times on my chest, and I had to pull over and try and kill the fly. It's not fun.
Yeah, wasps are jerks, dude.
But again,
the only time I've ever
I
been
got it
stung
when I
was
didn't deserve it.
wasp. Yeah, wasp as well. Stung me on my lip.
Oh, that must look
It was
pretty.
awful.
Must have looked pretty. All right, we are going to be taking your guys' calls. So if you've got anything you want to comment, question, complain, critique, or anything like that, you can bring it. And I don't know, Iru might pop on here. I don't know where he's at today.
Alan said he might want to. I don't.
Yeah, is he coming on?
How do I invite him here?
Just add him to the group up in the upper left. I think you can click on that. Let me see if this screen's going to work, and we will. I saw some people already showed up, or I think we did. Let's go to StreamYard. Oh, go ahead and jump back on if you were somebody who was here a second ago. Also, I do not have the chat open, so sometimes people try and chat in the StreamYard chat. Don't do that because I can't hear you. And hopefully the guys can hear you, so we'll wait till somebody comes on. The address to go to is tinyurl.com/1 December 2024. Sorry that the first warning or the first notification that went out said a different address. That was my bad. So it's the number 1 December 2024. And if you do tinyurl.com/1 December 2024, you get to join the show. Let's see if we can get one to make sure it's all working. Can somebody please jump on? Even if you have nothing to say, just say hello. I'm here to help you guys out. That would be very kind of you. And we'll make sure this is all running good. Let's go this way. Yeah, because I can't really... Oh, there's the screen. I got to fix the screen. So somebody jump on. How about DITRH? Dave, jump on. Come on, do something good in your life.
Do it, Dave. Do it.
I'm just laughing. Have you seen the guy, John Breaks Bad News? Oh,
No.
man. Oh, so funny. Such a great, I love people who have great ideas for like channels. I'm like, man, why didn't I think of that? He has his show's called John Breaks Bad News, and he just, you have to send him you can tip him or it's free. Oh, good. Do we have somebody? We got Tony Drake in the house. Hey, Tony!
Tony.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What can we do for you today? You just jumping on to help us out, or you have something to say?
Well, it's more like, what would you like to know? Because I'm older than you.
That's very true. What do I want to know? Tell us about the world today versus the world 50 years ago.
50 years ago, it was quite good. Yeah.
So World War II, am I right?
Pardon?
What'd you think about World War II back then?
Yeah, my father was an engineer on the bombers, dropping all those bloody bombs on Dresden.
Damn.
Yes.
And yeah, because I mean the 80s were great. I love the 80s. I love the 90s.
You know, the 70s were better.
Yeah, I wasn't here then, but I've heard that. So what happened? What do you think fell apart? Where did we go wrong?
Complacency. We allowed them to bloody manipulate us.
Yeah, good call.
I live in Australia. They destroyed the manufacturing of this country. We used to produce tractors, trains, everything here. We had our own resources and we could produce anything. And they sold us out to the international bankers and they took our resources, processed it somewhere else and sold it back to us.
Yeah, they do that with your oil. Don't you get your oil from, you have like tons of oil yourselves, but you don't get it from you get it from Iran.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, we've allowed the parasites to manipulate us, and that's what we get.
Yeah, I think that one of the things I see as a difficulty, though, is that if people are moral and good, you'll always be beat by immorality, because they lie, they cheat, they steal, they confuse, they misdirect, they deceive, and I'm just not sure that's ever going to be a fair fight. It's just not fair. And unfortunately, people are, and I think correctly, trying to be good people. But I'm just wondering how much of it is really, do we need to be fighting back? And people don't do that because they think fighting back is immoral.
You got to stand up for yourself, otherwise you're treated like shit.
Yep, it's the truth. So anything else for us today, or we got some people behind you?
Well, I can give you one of my bigger ones that people don't like.
Please.
The shape of the Earth, right?
Right.
Yeah. They reverse things and tell us the opposite to what things are. And what they did with the Earth is they just turned it inside out.
Right. Bob Nodell used to think that because he would always say that it was obviously interesting that the sun distance that comes out to when you use the mathematics is 3959, or about equal to what they say the radius of the Earth is.
Yeah, I've done a lot of when I first heard about flat Earth, I didn't believe it. I thought it must have been some religious cult that had gone a bit nutty, like Waco or something like that.
Right.
But eventually, I did enough of my own measurements. I've taken long-distance photographs of 170 miles with a mountain silhouetted against the rising morning sun.
Oh, nice.
I've proved it to myself beyond doubt that and even where there's so many things. I mean, the biggest one was the parallel plumb bobs in South African mine shafts.
Right.
I don't know if you're aware of that one.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a couple of those, right, where they basically dug 2 mine shafts and then checked the plumb bob through, laying them down in each, right?
Yeah.
And that was in South Africa, you said?
Yeah,
When you're
so,
coming-
I actually know a guy who worked in those mines. Yeah. I mean, the mine shafts were only dug because they wanted vertical shafts to get down low enough to get to the gold. They weren't, and the surveyors and engineers soon discovered that, two plumb bobs a mile apart, and if you extend the lines out, they'll go about 4,000 miles before they intersect.
Wow. What is that from?
Wait, what?
Two mine shafts in South Africa, two mine shafts a mile apart and a mile deep, and the plumb bob's alignment, the lines will intersect about 4,000 miles away.
That's what they say, or that's what they measured?
That's been measured.
Well, I'm confused. Isn't that globe evidence?
No, they would have to converge way before then.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't they converge at the center of the Earth?
They converge above the Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
not
okay.
talking- yeah, he's not
Is
talking
he
about to
saying
the center.
Earth's concave?
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the other way. I thought you were saying that they were towards each other and then they converged and met at 4,000 miles under the ground.
In the sky.
In the sky. Got you. So they were the wrong way. Completely.
Concave.
Yeah, because I mean, if you were God and you created a universe for you to be entertained in, surely you would put yourself at the center of your. And even now, everybody, no matter where you are, you look around you and you're the center of your universe.
Right.
So God would be in the center, which would make him about 4,000 miles above us.
Gotcha. Anything else for us?
That's enough.
Okay.
Satellites. So I've got a satellite dish that points to a particular point in the sky, and if you do the projections onto a horizontal and a vertical plane, you'll find that my satellite dish points to the top of a mountain in Papua New Guinea.
All right. I like that. I don't doubt that.
A satellite dish must be very stable and fixed and solid.
Right.
And must be the receiver and the transmitter must conform to those principles.
Or it could be falling around the Earth at a crazy speed.
They can't do that. It's impossible, ridiculous. I mean, the first thing my bloody school teacher told me that I knew it was a lie. She told me that the sun was 400 times bigger than the moon.
Right.
Why? Who would believe such rubbish?
It's an awful big coincidence. And I do believe in coincidences. I'm not one of these people that says I don't believe in coincidences. I do, but I don't believe in that one. There's some that are just a little bit too far stretched.
It's blatantly obvious
Yeah.
that they are apparently the same size.
Yeah, exactly. No other planet in this universe or whatever in this solar system would even have that luxury of having that happen. We just happen to be on the one that, yeah, right. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, Drake, I appreciate it. I'm going to let you go. We got some more people behind you.
Thank you.
Later.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, man.
Got Allegedly Dave. Is that the Allegedly Dave?
Is that the Allegedly Dave?
Sounds like him. What's
Allegedly.
up? Allegedly. What's up, Dave?
Oh, I'm good. I just sort of arrived here, and Dave said, "Call in." I'm like, "Okay."
All right. Well, that's
Here I
easy.
am. And just for Dave's sake, I'm lying here in pain because I actually had a crash on my today.
On your what? On your motorcycle?
No, I ride an electric unicycle.
Oh, the unicycle.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So,
man.
I
You're
was
brave.
going about
I wouldn't be
40
doing
miles
that.
an hour.
Not at my age.
I was going about 40 miles an hour, and somebody in a car got a bit too close to me. I kind of swerved to avoid them and went straight down a pothole, and I went flying.
Oh no!
And
Oh, man.
left a whole load of skin on the concrete.
I hate that so much.
Yeah, so it looked worse than it is, but yeah, I'm a bit sore. So yeah, what's going on?
We're just taking calls, rounding out the season here at GLOBEBUSTERS and coming back January 5th. So we're just letting people call in, say what they will.
Well, I'm glad to appear on the season finale then.
We are glad that you're here.
Yeah. So yeah, what sorry, I said I've just only got here. So what you guys been talking about?
Nothing. We showed some more flat Earth proof from Bo BMLSB69. He has a good view of that arch out there that's 33 miles off the shore, and he was about 80 feet up, and it should be 250 something feet blocked even with refraction, and we can see basically down to the ground.
Right.
But Globers tell us we don't see too far. So
here's the thing: it really doesn't matter how many proofs we come up with, because the system is never ever going to admit it. Every man, woman, and child on Earth could absolutely know the Earth is flat, and mainstream system will keep pushing out the ball Earth narrative. So
I know I've been thinking about this a lot, Dave. Like, how do we get over that hump? Like, once you hit the 100th monkey, that doesn't mean that the system isn't going to keep pushing back. What do we do when we get to that point? Not saying that we're there yet, but
the point is, we could be there yet. We could be there.
Yeah, we could already be there. It's a possibility.
They will keep pushing out the same narrative because they can't do anything else. They have to keep pushing it.
No choice, really.
It'll be the end of everything for them. So, as I say, we could be at that point where everyone knows now. And it does seem like it, because when I meet people, the flat Earth doesn't seem preposterous to them anymore.
Yeah, well, not after what happened with COVID. COVID woke a lot of people up and really alerted people to the fact that science can lie for the point of profits. These are things that people really didn't think before. We were told some lie that scientists are like unbiased human beings, like that exists.
Well, I think a lot of people have woken up to the fact they're lying about everything, absolutely everything. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work out, but the moment that the majority of us get together and say, you know what, I'm fed up with all these lies. I'm fed up with it. Let's get rid of these. Let's ignore these people and do something else. That's when it all changes. But when is that going to happen?
Do you think a lot of these truths that are starting to come out in our country about health and stuff like that, they're talking about taking fluoride out of the water and getting rid of, all these preservatives in the food and stuff like that?
No, fluoride's never done anything wrong to anybody. It's a great product. I'm sorry. I thought it was the guy on the debate last night.
Dude, I just had that dude.
That guy's so bad.
Toxicologist tried to argue with me for 2 hours that the fluoride was good, dude.
It was so bad. Somebody asked him, should my baby have a fluoride? She has no teeth yet. 6 months. He's like, yeah, I think she should.
Yeah, bro. Like, no, some babies do have teeth when they're born. I'm like, bro. Dude,
this is the thing, though. Just like COVID, right? The information that was out there for everybody to see. It was just us who picked up on it. Yeah,
right.
The muggles didn't want to even look. But it's same with you just chose the idea of fluoride. But the facts about fluoride have always been out there. There's a guy called Dr. Dean Burke, who basically, just showed with charts how as soon as they introduced fluoride, cancer went through the roof in particular areas. So, it's well known, right? It just doesn't get out to people. The information's there, but nobody wants to look at it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they'll just blame everything on, oh no, that's bias. But then we're supposed to believe that they're not biased, even though they're just repeating exactly what they were told in school. And of course, if you're somebody who for the whole of your career has been prescribing or been administering fluoride, how could your brain even allow you to realize that it's bad? I'm not sure you could.
Yeah, well, there are good types of fluoride. You don't want to go drinking it, but calcium fluoride.
I mean, the natural kinds.
The stuff that they actually found up in, what was it? It was near Denver, but a little bit more up in the mountains.
But the stuff in toothpaste and that kind of stuff, and the stuff in dentist's office is the
that's
byproduct
sodium fluoride. That's like toxic waste.
It's actually hexafluorosilicic acid.
It's like the most cancer-causing chemical known to the United States Cancer Research Institute back in the 1930s.
Well,
they said this is the most cancer-causing.
Let me give an example of that we should be looking at. Is CNN just did a report, and so did a bunch of other people, that they found out what this chemical in water is that's been unidentified for 60 years. It's in everybody's drinking water, and it's a carcinogen. It's an absolute byproduct of bleach, byproduct of bleach, what they use to clean the water in our system. Because if you don't know, you shit in a bucket, right, or you shit in a pot, it gets flushed out to your city's water supply. They just treat it with bleach and other things, and then send it right back to you as drinking water. That's what they do. And so, should we be surprised? Go ahead.
There's a video that I use in one of my talks where a guy gets really crappy water, and he actually shows the process that they use to clean it up. They don't take anything from it. They don't filter anything. They just keep adding chemicals until the water looks clean. So
it's crazy.
Still got the original crap in it, right? But they add more crap to it, and it just looks clean.
Here's the November 21st report. So just talking about exactly that. Oops, sorry, wrong screen. This one you can see better. So millions of Americans tap water, solving a 40-year mystery. Scientists ID the chemical found in the water, and it is this here, the chloronitroamide anion. It's a decomposition byproduct of chloramine, which is a chemical that's used to treat plants used to make water safe to drink. About 113 million people drink tap water that expose them to this anion, whatever. But it has been found to cause cancer. So, I mean, when we have no cancer really 200 years ago, and all of a sudden now 50% of people dying with cancer or something crazy like that, and then you find out that in our drinking water. Now, here's the thing. The government can never just come out and admit, oh, we gave all those people cancer. So they have to go through roundabout ways, and they'll kind of slowly get it taken out. But you have to recognize that if you're drinking water from your faucet, you are causing yourself damage. So
Dude, and the fluoride alone is worse than people realize, right? Like people say stuff like it makes you docile and it hurts IQ, and all that's true, but it also causes skeletal fluorosis. So like your bones absorb the fluoride, and this is like not naturally occurring fluoride, right? It's not calcium fluoride, which is naturally found. This is sodium fluoride, which is an industrial waste product. But what happens as you drink that, your bones absorb it over time, and what it does is it weakens your bones and it causes skeletal fluorosis. And oftentimes that'd be misdiagnosed as arthritis or some version of arthritis. And then, of course, it does calcify your pineal gland, and then it creates an early onset of puberty. It hurts your melatonin production. It messes your kidney, like kidney whatever functionality, your thyroid functionality. Like just that one thing that's in there does all of those things. It causes heart complications, has carcinogenic effects. Isn't that crazy? Just one of the things. And also it's not even pharmaceutical grade, meaning like refined, right? Like food grade or pharmaceutical grade, like they have to actually refine it, so it's only that's in it. They don't even do that with the sodium fluoride that's added. So it's mixed with arsenic and aluminum. This is like a byproduct of the aluminum industry, so it oftentimes has aluminum in it. So it has like arsenic and aluminum and mercury and all these other heavy metals and toxins inside the sodium fluoride that they then add. How insane is that?
Well, it costs a lot of money to store that stuff in the ground, Austin. It cost them a fortune, so this is cheaper for them.
Well, actually, the EPA said it's so poisonous and toxic that it can't even touch the ground, and they're not allowed to let it vaporize.
Jeez.
You know what?
So they put it in our water.
I think it's time we cut through the crap, really, right? Because we live in a land of make-believe. They tell us stories that sound plausible. Most people buy it, and then we have to go and try and find ways to debunk it. But we eventually do, but then they come up with another story, right? The truth is, there is a group of people, right, that, well, they're hardly people, actually, but they're a group of people who have all the money in the world, and they choose to depopulate the earth with it. And they're using every single trick in the book. They're throwing the kitchen sink at it, we've gone through fluoride, but look at plastics. There's BPA in every single plastic item that you come in contact with. You're getting a dose of bisphenol A, which
it's in like 90% of sperm that they check.
Yeah, microplastics.
Right, and also atrazine, which was discovered to turn male frogs into female frogs.
It reduced gonad size by 50%.
Yeah, and sperm count. You don't even want to know about that. It's like it's gone right through the floor. So we're living through a mass depopulation event, which has worked, because there's no way there is 6 or 8 billion people here. I'd be surprised if there's even more than 1 billion here, because there's a study where people have actually calculated the top 300 cities in the world, the most popular cities in the world, and it's come out less than less than 1 billion people. So
yeah,
there are
and that's where
another
most
7
people
billion
in countries live.
hiding out in the woods.
Hey, Dave, I hate to kick you out, but we've got a bunch of people behind you, and I'm going to try and keep to a 5-minute timer. Any final words?
No, just I just thought I'd say hello and add to the conversation.
Happy to have you. We'll reach out. Maybe we'll have you on the show sometimes. All right, take it easy. We've got Drake
Awesome
up
hearing
next.
you, Dave.
Drake, what's up?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we got 5 minutes on the clock. Go ahead, whatever you want to say.
Whatever I want to say.
Anything you want.
Well, I appreciate all the work y'all do.
Thank you.
It's great stuff. Very good stuff. I missed the first part. What were you guys talking about?
First part of the show?
Yeah.
Nothing in particular.
Nothing in particular. So the Earth's still flat?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, that's good. That's good. But yeah, I just wanted to chime in about how much I appreciate your work. And like, funnily enough, the first time I thought about this stuff was on Alex Stein's 420 show last year, and you were on, and you were talking about plane flights or some shit, I think, with Alex, and I started watching your stuff, and yeah.
So you'd never heard about Flat Earth before that?
No, I was just into watching Alex with his like insane town hall stuff.
Right.
And then he started his show, and then he had you on. And literally like a week before that, I work at a fucking Dairy Queen. A freaking Dairy Queen, okay? And my coworker was talking about how the Earth might be flat, and I was like, nah, that's past me. and then I saw you on Alex's show, and I thought about it for a long time, and I'm not a globie, okay? We're not spinning. The globe has been busted. This is a great show. I love this show. Rest in peace, Bob Nodell.
Thank you. Very kind of you.
But I'll get out of here, guys. You guys have a good day, okay?
All right, appreciate the call. That was Drake, everyone. We've got Michael.
All right, peace out.
Nolan coming up. We've got, again, if you want to join, tinyurl.com/1 December 2024. Here is Michael. Nolan, you are on mute, I believe, Michael. You might have to unmute yourself. Photography manipulation.
Hello.
Hello, Michael.
Hello.
How are you?
How's it good? I'm so good. And to be right here, right now, describing to my friend that I've known for 10 years, that I've argued on and off with about the understanding of the shape of the Earth. While I was also one of the very first few human beings when you guys were optimizing the stuff for emails to like GLOBEBUSTERS episodes 15 and 17, I believe I remember is what I was on. And I couldn't believe that at the time you guys were just asking people to submit their emails to have a conversation about the shape of the Earth. And I'm in Alaska, and when I was on, I was very uninformed and totally confused about what I was trying to convey to you guys. But I'm in the middle of Alaska, in Fairbanks, Alaska, and you guys were trying to describe the differences in the approaches of the sun on the horizon for everybody that is in a different separation on the face of the Earth, from the equator to where I am at the northern circle. I'm at the edge of the northern circle. And I still remember talking about how I am witnessing and observing the sun rolling around me instead of it becoming like just a flat plane direction that people observe at the equator. I still have never seen what it's like to observe the sun surfacing overhead in the event horizon at the equator. So I'm just used to it circling around me. And we would talk about the aurora borealis, and I was trying to tell you guys about the pyramids that I think that are fully surfaced and used by the military up here. And I'm just truly appreciative to have gone through this entire journey, up and down, and believing in you guys and then not believing in everything that I'm saying, and then eventually coming to the understanding or the misinterpretation of the idea that you guys are shills, and then explaining to my friends and family that I fully understand that these are real human beings and you guys have done this through pro bono donation, everything about it. I only witness and observe like 15 different human beings in my life through the isolation that I live in, being in the middle of Fairbanks, Alaska. And it's been a long and hard journey trying to describe this information to people when they will isolate me in every way, shape, or form. I would go to the University of Alaska Fairbanks and I would tell people that I could see pyramids in the mountains off in the horizon, and they would tell me they're just mountains. And a lot of this bravery came from you guys pursuing these ideas, and I never gave up, and I'm still not giving up, and I'm still right here listening to you guys almost every week. Emotionally, it becomes a little hard sometimes because I got no one to share it with, but I'm just so glad to even have the opportunity to speak with you right now. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that fine words. And remind me now. So you're in Fairbanks. You said what latitude's that? Do you know?
It's right on the Arctic Circle.
So like about 60 something. I guess I could look it up.
Yes.
So you don't get a full day of sun though. You're a little too far south for that. Or a full day of night.
No.
Let me see. Fairbanks.
Yeah, we get about 22 hours. The same that you guys are trying to defer with in the South. And I still have a hard time fully grasping the idea of how those things would be identical.
Well, you're at 64, it looks like. So, yeah, so you're just below the 66. So what that would mean is that you would never have a full 24 hours of either sun or night, but you'd be pretty close. And if you kept going north, well, then obviously you would see it. So from your point of view, when it's the height of summer, then you see the sun sweeping left to right and basically above the horizon for, like you said, 22 hours?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is something that is a no-brainer. There's still people out there who say the sun doesn't circle, right? So it clearly does. How can we prove that? We could put everybody on the equator on the equinox, and everybody on the equator would see the sun above their head as it worked its way around, and it would get back to the starting person 24 hours later. There's only one way that works, and that is if the sun circles above our heads. So to the people who say the sun doesn't circle, that doesn't make any sense. Anybody in the north, Norway, Sweden, Greenland, Canada, Alaska, the people that are up there report it. And Bob has seen it twice. Daryl Marble filmed it. There's lots of videos of it. I don't think we can have a question about that. However, there's still people in this community for some reason that want to question that. So anything else for us, Michael?
I would say just the development of the deception of perception through creating the interpretation that the our lying eyes that we're supposed to believe that create the depth of funneling of observation down to 23.4 degrees off of 90. And the way that they keep on manipulating the evil incentives that the powers may be always discuss and bring into our reality, I always bring that up to people on how the 666 shows up in the speed, motion, rotation, and observation of our reality, and how that is not supposed to be an illusion, I have a very hard time discussing with people forward. It's like, why would the game of the Matrix allow that self to play itself out unless it was totally manipulated? Do you understand where I'm coming from, John? It's kind of like how you're always saying, if you were adopted and you never knew your parents, that's where I try to come from when I describe this stuff to people. It's like, how are you ever supposed to believe your lying eyes?
Right. It needs to be something that's pretty definitive to show you that you're wrong. And I guess my only example of like where that would happen is if you looked at your skin and somebody said there's little things on there or something, and you're like, no, there's not. And then they get a microscope out and see that there is little things. That's kind of one of the examples I guess I would come up with. But besides that, I don't see very many options of many, things like that come up. And then they always love to show all these optical illusions, right? Where they say, well, this optical illusion tricks your eyes and it shows you can't trust your eyes. But the problem with that is that they learned how our eyes work and then they went out and designed optical illusions, right? That's different than saying you can't trust your eyes. It's like, no, you're purposely trying to fool me. I mean, that's different. So
yes. That's why I only have a small community of people that I discuss these ideas with, but they are quite in quality and depth when they will actually have a conversation with me. And that is one of the major points that I try to bring up to them is like, I'm not smarter than you. I don't know math better than you. I understand language as good as you do. I'm trying to show you the lies, the straight up lies. Because I'm trying to be a true, honest person from my heart and describe the lies to you. And it either draws people in, or I have a friend that I would call, he has the Trump derangement syndrome. He hasn't talked to me since the election. And I would have the most in-depth conversations with this individual because he is capable of computing and programming and writing code into a three-dimensional gaming system. And he worked for the company that has like 30 different operational conglomerates that are involved. And he's very intelligent, but he doesn't grasp the understanding of soul and direction and God and purpose. And that has been the dividing factor between us being able to maintain having a relationship. And I am quite on a journey. I just bought Jordan Peterson's new book, We Who Wrestle with God, and I'm trying to get myself centered enough to read it because I understand I'm gonna have to go through quite a spiritual battle to get through that man's book. But my friend thinks we don't have souls, but he also understood how developmentally through calculus that these circles within circles work with each other for them developing computer generated systems.
Okay.
But I've never been able to code. I don't understand chemistry very well. I can do the numbers, I can do the letters, I can do the functions, but once you start adding them all together, I'm quite a stoner myself. I can't do shit off of memory. I have to do things off of function. And if there is no function to things that I'm looking at chemically, it just erases. It's gone. But my friend is very good at it. And it bums me out. I'll try to tie it up here.
Yeah, tied up is good. 30 seconds.
Yes, sir. I miss that friend. I wish that friend would understand where I'm coming from. And I've learned it all through faith. And I swear to Jesus Christ, I found God in approaching the flat earth because I understood that there was something that could draw us all back together as one soul. It's really helped me in my journey through life. Being up here isolated in Fairbanks with barely knowing anybody, being born from a village of 300 people. I have a lot of time to myself and I still found Christ through this information. And I really much appreciate you guys for continuing to doing your job, your work.
Well, thank you for that. We do appreciate it. We're going to let you go. We've got Flat Earth British up next. What's up, Flat Earth British? How you doing, Myron Leakey?
Doing groovy.
There he is.
Jeran.
What's up, Martin? How are you been?
Doing groovy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you great.
Yeah, we hear you good, Martin. How's it going, man?
Yeah. Gentlemen, good to see you. Zack H, love you, dude. What's going on?
Love you, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just pop in, just pay my respects, Jeran. Wish you luck before you dive off into the blue yonder.
Pay my respects. Okay, thank you.
Listen, I've been a GLOBEBUSTERS fanboy since 2015. Give me a break.
Thank you. We do appreciate that. It's a lot of shows.
It's I don't watch actually too much on YouTube. My one little luxury a week is watching GLOBEBUSTERS and catching up and watching Strange Worlds. Just keeping up, on all the flat Earth goss.
Well, thank you. I was there the other day. I was on their show, so it was fun.
Yeah, I seen you on in the Bournemouth gig. That's really good. I did that one. Yeah, I enjoyed that. You and Wit seeing you, and it is really good atmosphere. Everyone loved you seeing you guys there.
Yeah, it was kind of rough because we couldn't really hear well, but it was a good time anyway.
Yeah, if you turned it up after each one like I did, you could pick it up. Yeah, it was okay.
Okay, good.
It was possible. So yeah, you're going off to Antarctica. Remember, what was his name? Robert. That when he showed up in the Flat Earth early 2016, and he went off to it. He worked in Antarctica, didn't he? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think the guy that Nathan Oakley interviewed.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, but I met him first in Oxford when we all went to Oxford on a Flat Earth meet. I think it was late 2015, 2016. One of the first meets I ever went to, actually. Antonio Subarat was there. He was still alive.
Oh,
just crazy how many people have gone from the Flat Earth over the years. Bob,
it's
rest
insane.
in peace, all of them.
Rob Skiba,
yeah, Rob Skiba as well.
Mac Parhar, a lot of people have gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've seen him as well. Yeah, man, just craziness. So yeah, I'm still as passionate about the Flat Earth, Jeran, as I ever have been, as I was back then, and I'm still excited as I was back then. I still see, to me, in my head, I think 2025 is a year for Flat Earth, because last year, so many Flat Earth big whams in the in contemporary society, like Deadpool. Everyone loves Deadpool. He's cool, isn't he? And he's a flat earther,
right?
And all these little, like Netanyahu, they're supposed to be at war. All he can talk about is moaning about flat Earth. It's just like, what are they up to exactly? So all you're going to get a lot of attention with that. Not that it makes any difference to the flat Earth one way or another, because it's flat, whatever they say or whatever you see. I'm really interested in your observations, but I've heard all of this from Robert firsthand, and yeah, he I met him, and then he got snaggled off by Nathan and Antonio. I didn't get to have a word with him, but it was me he approached in the beginning. But yeah, Robert Shortman.
There you go. He was a plumber.
Yeah. Mates with Robert Bassano. He did a little show with him in the end.
Yeah, I wonder where Robert's been. I haven't heard from Bassano in a while.
Yeah, I was on a show with him, and what's that fireman from New York's name? Another black guy. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about. What's the fireman's name? Zack.
He's gone now. He's been off the scene for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
Not Lorenzo, something like that, like a Spanishy name. Yeah, so I went on a show with him and Robert Bassano back about 2 years ago, but to talk about my subject.
You're talking about Zulu One or no?
Sorry?
Zulu One? No.
No, not Mac.
Okay.
No, I know Mac. I'm on about the guy from New York. He used to work with the fire service. Can't remember his name now. Robert.
I can't remember either.
He'll come to me. He had a massive Facebook group, and he actually gave it to me. It was one of the biggest Facebook groups in the world. And he's like, I have it. I can't do it. I was like, well, I can't do it. So I don't know what happened to that in the end. But yeah, he'll come to me in a minute. So yeah, I'm doing my bit for the Flat Earth. I'm still doing a bit of street activism. I'm planning to do a bit more next year anyway, and some events coming up. I've been doing some big flat smacking with some high-level crowds. Actually, I did a little stint presentation, and I just totally flat smacked them. I talked about my subject. With my subjects, guys, you got to understand, you know, this is just a surreptitious way for me to just get them in the soft underbelly with flat earth. You know, it's just ways and means to get through. Because the algorithm and everything else and the trolling, I'm just not cut out for it. I was just never getting through. So this route, yeah, every single episode I do on my channel, yeah, which would be about, you know, alternative history, I talk from a flat earth perspective. Everything I talk about is from flat earth perspective. So
we have about 1 minute. I hate to rush people, but we have, you know, 6 people, 7 people after you. So just 1 minute left. Go ahead.
Okay. Just to pay respects to you all, guys, and just good luck on all of that, Jerry. I hope you're having a wonderful time. Make sure you do loads of recordings, and I hope you do go live if they have broadband.
Supposedly we're supposed to be able to go live. That would be crazy. I looked the other day. I could not find anybody ever have gone live from Antarctica. So that'd be weird if we were the first ones ever.
I wondered about that. Did they actually have broadband? I don't know.
They have Starlink. Supposedly they have Starlink this year, and Duffy bought a $3,000 ground base unit. So supposedly we can use that ground base with the Starlinks, and we're supposed to be able to go live stream. We'll believe it when we see it. Believe it when we see it. I'm certainly not banking on that. So, all right. Well, we appreciate it, and we'll tell people where they can find you if they haven't heard your work. They can find you on your channel.
Martin Liedtke, Liedtke. You can see it written by there. Flat with British.
Awesome. Yeah, great work on the old world and everything with Tartaria. So keep it up.
Yeah.
All
okay,
right.
Thank you. We'll do. Best luck, guys.
Later.
Much love, Martin. Later, man.
We got Curvature. Nope. You got 5 minutes, my friend. I'll warn you when you got 30 seconds left or so. Curvature. Nope. Present. Nope.
No, did it make it?
You're here. You're on.
I'm on. The South. Can we talk about the South?
We can talk about whatever you want.
The twilight times in the South.
Okay.
Have you been able to ever come across good information about that time?
No, but I'll tell you why not. Number one is because they base twilight times off of a mathematical equation, right? So basically, they say 6 degrees below the horizon, 12 degrees, and 18 degrees is each level of twilight. So that, of course, they're going to match in the north and the south because you're basing it off of the mathematics behind it, not the observations. As far as the observations go, I think it's clear what I've always said, that the entire Earth right now is going through a shortened time after sunset. And come December 21st, we'll all switch and we'll all go through an increased time after sunset as we get closer to June 21st. But as far as how we can find that, it's a subjective thing, right? I mean, if you went out and you tried to record how much time after sunset you have, it's going to be very dependent on the weather. It's going to be dependent on your eyes. Are you using your camera? Are you using your eyes? Are you using a camera with certain settings? So it really takes a person to do it themselves because they can keep track of their own eyesight, like saying, okay, now there's no more light, and stopping their stopwatch. And then do it a month later and check it again, and do it a month later and check it again, and see if you can, guesstimate the trend for yourself.
Okay, all I've come across is the time and date, and I found something about old twilight time. I don't know what their definition of civil twilight time would be.
It's all degrees.
It seemed like it was
6 degrees, 6 degrees, 12 degrees, and 18 degrees below the horizon. So they think that the sun goes below the horizon, right? So what they're saying is when it's 6 degrees below, which is a mathematical timed thing, and then 12 degrees below and 18 degrees below. So actually the idea of twilight has zero to do with what you see or what you experience as light or anything like that. It has nothing to do with how much light is out.
Okay.
Meaning that if in the north it got dark really fast and that twilight was really dark, but in the south it was really bright and twilight was really bright, we wouldn't know the difference because we're told at 6 degrees, 12 degrees, 8 degrees, and the times would match. So you'd look at the time and date and you'd say, oh, you're supposed to have twilight at 7:55 here. Then you go look at the south and say, oh, their opposite date is 7:55 also. So there, it's proven. It's the same. But that doesn't tell you anything about what people actually see, which is what the importance would be. Not that they can do math, right? We know you can do math.
Yeah, okay. The other thing I've been asking about on TikTok actually has been the circling moon in the north.
Correct.
I've asked about it. I haven't been able to find evidence of this ever being recorded. I didn't know if it was.
I've seen some video in the south. I mean, again, whether it's fake or not, who knows? But we know that the moon does what the sun does in a month, what the sun does in a year, right? So in a year, we know that the sun orbits outside, then comes to the inside. So if you picture that kind of idea, then the people in the north, like people in Alaska, would have dark for 6 months and then light for 6 months. Well, the same thing is true with the moon then, monthly. So they get the moon for 2 months, then gone for 2 months.
Yeah, Aloha from Florida. I cannot remember the guy's name. That's just his account name there on TikTok. He was part of Flatten the Curve. I don't know. He's buddies with Vika. I was asking him about this circling moon, and I think he touched Chat GPT, and they came back with a response that this circling moon could be observed in the north when the sun is at the Tropic Capricorn, the winter solstice all the way out there.
Uh-huh.
So if the sun's at the south, then the moon in the north, we should be able to observe a circling moon. And simply, in my opinion, if we saw a circling moon, we could tell anybody would be able to see that's not a rock that's floating up there.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Just
a lot of
my
sense.
thought.
Yeah, no, it's a good thought. When you start thinking about it that way, you're like, yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I can't picture anybody ever looked up at the sky and saw the moon and said, now that must be falling. It's kind of a little bit of a story, I think.
Oh, it definitely is.
Same thing with the apple falling on your head, and you're like, oh, the apple fell, the moon must fall, and so we must be, I don't know what they're thinking. We're supposed to believe
Right.
these stories. Anything else first? You got 30 seconds.
I got one question. I got the Why Are the Stars book that Zachary put out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was asking him if he would have any other suggestions for another book, because my son's in first grade, so he's learning how to read. If he would have a good one for that, good suggestion.
Another book.
Yeah.
I really like Why Are the Trees. There's 6 of them available right now, and I just actually got done writing number 7 yesterday. Why Are the Birds?
Awesome.
And then after that, I'm going to go from nature, and I'm going to go on to big machines. And we're going to do the trains and the planes and the cars and the trucks and stuff like that. Because I know little boys, they like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's when I'll get in there. I work diesel and cars
there
and
you go.
trucks, and yeah.
Yeah,
But my
we're gonna
brother's
do
an
Why Are the
arborist,
Fire
so yeah,
Trucks,
Why
you
Are the
know, all
Trees?
that
I
kind
might
of
get a
stuff.
biased with that one.
Yeah, I'm not. I really don't have a favorite. I know Cami really
there?
likes the moon one. That's probably her favorite. And the trees is a pretty good one. Yeah, I mean, take your pick. I'm eventually going to be putting them all together into a really big hardback, like a really big one with big pictures.
Oh, that'd be neat.
That's coming in the future. Yeah. But thank you so much for the support, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely had to give you a shout out. My son enjoys the book.
Oh, thanks, man. That warms my heart.
I love your son for dancing at my outro music. That's why I love your son.
Yeah. Have you gotten any other submissions from anybody for that?
0. Just you. You're the one and only. We kind of learned my lesson about asking for submissions like that. All right, I'm going to let you go. That we got a bunch of people behind you.
For sure. Keep
Later,
crashing.
Commissioner. We've got Zack Glober. No,
Hey,
hold on a second. Let me get. Can I get a boo sound effect real quick? Hold on. Stay right there. We're gonna announce you in a second. Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Very good.
Don't wait. We got to do this boo sound here. Okay, now you can go.
All right, cool. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, man, I got a few questions. I have quite a bit of friends that are in aviation, and we're trying to work out some math with the Coriolis effect, because the claim is that snipers account for Coriolis. So the position I would kind of want to follow and look at is taking the sniper equation math for Coriolis specifically and put it over to mapping out a plane, something going from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere, and kind of seeing what the projected amount would actually be compared to what we would see using the equation. I talked to quite a bit of people who work with autopilot, and a few things that are kind of funky with that in regards to nothing accounts for longitude, which if there's a change at 1,000 miles per hour, and the equator difference than the poles. It gets a little wonky. I'm actually kind of skeptical for and on the fence as well. I was wondering if you guys have heard anything about sniper equation math that they end up using, and then something I could maybe plot out and kind of find some empirical evidence for using math.
Didn't somebody have a booklet or something like that that was out there for a while? I'm not sure how legitimate it was, or if because I mean, all but a couple snipers that I ever heard talk about it said, no, we don't really take that into account, like which direction we're facing. Because I mean, if you're facing north and south, you would have to be aiming, and your bullet's going to be traveling, you know, just maybe three quarters of a second in the air. That
Right.
could be like 50 yards, depending on your latitude. You know, the distance that's traveled in that 3/4 of a second.
And I think everywhere that I've ever seen it say that they include it, it's when they have a handheld electronic unit, and the unit claims to include it, but there's really no way to verify the math that's being used by the. Well, I guess you could. I don't know if anybody's ever done that. Take a look at the math that comes out of the electronic device, and then actually do the math yourself and see if they are truly accounting for it. I'm not sure that they do.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they use the electric sites and if there's some kind of mechanism that accounts for it, because theoretically, if you're at the equator, that math is going to be different if you're shooting at the equator than if you're shooting maybe closer to Canada or Russia, in theory. But
Right.
I have also thought about it and have talked to multiple pilots about the helicopters that go straight up in the air and then go change in altitude, and they land back at the same spot as if there's nothing changing is there. So
Yeah, because there has to be some sort
I'm
of
just wondering.
transfer. They must believe that there's some sort of transfer from the atmosphere to the craft or something, because otherwise it doesn't work. If you really have what do they call it? Inertia, right? That's what they say is
Right.
happening, right? That you're leaving the Earth with a certain speed. And again, I've always asked the question of a balloon. If we have a balloon that takes off from Earth, a helium balloon, and goes up, well, we know that Earth isn't racing out from underneath it for some reason. They say it's because it left the Earth with that inertial speed. But then at some point, doesn't it leave the atmosphere and have to? Is it the atmosphere carrying it along or not? Because that's where I get lost, is what they actually believe.
Well, I think that's why it's so important. If there is sniper math equations out there, like let's take that math and plot a plane route, and then see if that plane route actually adds up to what we would see. Because I mean, before they used GPS, that's on autopilot. They just had a heading, and then their direction on where we're going, and then the altitude, and like they had nothing to actually account. There's no mechanism that accounts for longitude, which is interesting, and it raises a lot of questions that need to be answered. I don't want to be like stumped by any riddles, but that's definitely something. If you guys have heard of anybody that uses sniper equation math, I'd love to plot that with a plane.
Okay,
For sure.
where can people reach you if they have any thoughts on this and they want to reach out to you?
I mean, just my YouTube probably be the best thing.
What's your YouTube channel?
Zachary, and then BALOGH.
Okay, you've got a minute left if you want anything else. Go ahead. Well, I've always thought about planes, though. Isn't it funny that if you left the United States and flew over the North Pole, right? So you left the United States, went straight north over the North Pole, and then started going south. If the plane ride took 12 hours, wouldn't you end up landing where you took off? So you leave San Francisco, you're going north. It takes you 12 hours to get across the North Pole to the other side of the Earth. But in that time, San Francisco rotated around, and now it's at the exact location you're going to. No?
Yeah, in theory.
In theory.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Never understood that. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You have a minute or 30 seconds or so, whatever you need.
No, man, that's good. Go ahead and get to someone else. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks. We've got Doug Dude Sheeple something. Sheepless in Georgia. I like
Sheepless
that.
in-
name. It's good.
yeah.
What's up, Doug?
Hey guys. Hey, first, thanks for everything you guys do, man. You guys have been just fantastic with all the information. And I guess one thing I wanted to say, just maybe for anybody that's watching, is, in my experience with this, don't try to get anybody convinced of a flat plane Earth. Start with geocentrism. It seems like it's a little more. It's just a little more. It's just something that they can, I guess, digest a little easier. And then I just
It's a
wanted
good
to say
idea.
also-
Kind of like baby step them
the
way there.
Yeah, every time I've run into, especially younger guys, I'm 58. Every time I've run into younger guys that are aware of all the lies the government has told us, and even though they're aware of all the lies, as soon as I bring it up, they start, saying, "Well, it can't be because of this. It can't be because of that." And it's just it's fascinating that it's just too much for people to. It's just too much for people to digest.
I think our brain has some mechanism in it that just doesn't allow you to, because I think your brain recognizes that if something is fundamentally wrong with your thought, then it has a whole lot of work to do, and it doesn't want to do that. It's like, I don't want to do all that work, so it's better for me just to believe what I believe. But we do see people who do come to the conclusion, right? So what happens is it has to be you yourself that convinces yourself. I've never seen somebody hear from somebody else and then just go, "Oh, that's true." I started my debate show. I've never seen anybody concede one point, but they might a week later, right? So I do think it's about planting the seeds, putting it out there, not being aggressive, not calling somebody a moron. Don't call anybody who's a glober a stupid, retard, because what you're doing then is you make that person dig their feet in. And then they're like, "No, I'm not retarded, so I'm not going to give this up." And then they go looking for evidence of the globe and they find Professor Dave and they think that that's all that there is, and it's over. So
yeah, emotion and logic don't mix.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring emotion into the equation. Just leave them with their logic.
Yeah. And I just wonder what's your thoughts on the psychology of that. It's the only thing I've found more fascinating than discovering flat Earth is watching people not being able to grasp it. That's the most fascinating thing. And I mean, even if you're really careful and you just use really basic logic to show them, it's just the most fascinating thing I've ever seen, where people just cannot grasp.
There's a lot of people, if you don't have a visual representation for them to look at, there's a lot of people out there that just can't imagine things in their head. Like, it doesn't happen. Yeah, Bob was one of those people. Like, I'd say, picture a red ball in your head, and he couldn't.
Yeah, he always told me he couldn't do that.
It's hard, man. It's hard unless you have the tools right there with you to share with them, to show them. Some people need that visual representation to kind of grasp any concept.
And how does a guy like Robert Sagenis, as smart as he is and logical as he is, not see it? That's another thing that just blows my mind.
So that to me is a product of your own indoctrination, really, right? Like, if you go so far into one subject and you really start teaching that subject and you write books about that subject, it really closes your mind to other options. Because again, in order to your mind to say, "Oh, it's actually this," then you have to admit to yourself that you've been wrong about everything before that. You have to, his books are wrong, his speeches are wrong, and I'm not sure our brain even allows that to happen. That's like why I say, like, Neil deGrasse Tyson can't even think that the Earth be flat, because his whole life has been about the Earth being a sphere. I don't think he ever even contemplated. It's like when Joe Rogan asked him, "What's the curvature equation?" And he's like, "What do you mean, the gravity drop?" And he's like, "No, the actual curve of the Earth." He's like, "I don't know." I mean, they don't know the curvature of the Earth because they've gone past that. They're into astrophysics. They never even covered that subject. So it seems like to me, like, a guy like that would be very difficult to convince or to even get to look into it. But I don't know psychology beside that.
Watching Austin go through some of these debates with his knowledge of logic, once you have, and I really do think that, obviously they intentionally don't teach us logical fallacies. If everybody knew some of the logical fallacies, there would be a whole lot less of us that have been duped into all the different lies. And that's something I've learned just watching you guys over just the last couple of years is, man, they have not taught us logical fallacies. Therefore, when somebody tells us something, we don't recognize any of the fallacies in what they're saying, and it's easy to convince us.
Yeah, it's like people that are, higher in place than you, right, or authority figures. We were taught that whatever they said was the truth, regardless of if they're using a logical fallacy or not, right? So it's just like Neil deGrasse Tyson gets away with actually saying that his evidence that we went to the moon is because it had enough fuel to go to the moon. So where do you think it went? He says, where'd it go? The tiddlywinks? Well, that's not, anybody now can look at that and say, well, that's not good evidence for anything. Just because we have enough fuel to get to Hawaii in a car doesn't mean that the car went to Hawaii. If somebody tells us that, we can say, no, it didn't go to Hawaii. Cars don't go to driving.
Yeah, even if it's a place you could actually go, that's still not
right. Good
proof.
Right.
I could say I went, up to Asheville because I was gone for 2 hours, and I had enough gas to get there and back.
Try to use that in
really,
court.
I just went and drove around the block.
Yeah, try to use that in court as an alibi. But look, at my gas had this much and then had this much, so I clearly went there. It's clearly my alibi.
Yeah.
Oh, Piggly Wiggly,
Well, man,
thank you. Yeah, you're right.
having,
Just Piggly Wiggly.
Having Austin on Timcast, wow, that is a huge step. Holy crap, that was fascinating to see.
Yeah, it's good times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, more to come.
Yeah. And just lastly, I want to ask you guys: have you seen that episode? I don't know if you have ever watched any of the Danny Jones's podcasts. He had a neurosurgeon on there, Dr. Jack Krause, and it was one of those 3-hour episodes. But he talked in detail on how the we know a lot of the diseases and stuff that are coming around lately is from the what, but it looks like it's also probably related to many other things, but the least of which is probably not what he was talking about, which is the fact that we don't get enough UV light. And he gets really in deep on how the UV light from the direct sunlight is so important to our health. It's a fascinating episode. But anyway, if you guys have a chance to watch it, it's Dr. Jack Krause. He's a 35-year neurosurgeon, and he was all his information was suppressed for years, but it's finally starting to come out on how important sunlight is, and how most of us, like myself, are working indoors with synthetic light, and how terrible it is for your health. But it's a really good episode.
Great, yeah, that's awesome. And then also grounding, very important. Once you realize some people haven't grounded in probably years, literally years. If they wear shoes in the house and they wear shoes outside, then they never are grounded, and then you're just going to have a high charge on you and probably going to be a pain in the butt to everybody.
And outside, he means like in the grass,
right? In the grass,
walking on the sidewalk, because that's not grounded,
right?
I mean, it is grounded, but there's a disturbance there. Concrete is not a good thing to stand on if you want to become grounded.
Yeah, Dr. Jack Krause mentioned that. He was like, if you can get out in the sunlight, it's great. He said, if you can get out in the sunlight and be grounded at the same time, it's like exponentially better. It's something to do. We know it's all electric, and it's something to do with the electric forces as you're in the sunlight, and the electric forces on top of being grounded is just a phenomenal thing. Anyway, I got to run.
Hey, thanks so much, Doug.
See you guys.
Take care, Doug.
We got Cunningham's Law up next, and he's got Make Earth Flat Again. I love it.
Love it.
Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we're great.
Sound good.
Oh, great. Yeah, so I'm calling in just to say one of my favorite flat Earth proofs, besides flat water, which for me, it's hard to get to a long enough area to see flat water, a long enough distance, is Venus at night. And when we have Venus in the day and night, those are both super solar system heliocentrism model killers. Because if you're looking at Venus at night, you're looking away from the sun, away from the inner orbit of the Earth on the solar system model, and you should never be able to see Venus after dusk. But today, I'm sitting here on a hill near Franklin, Tennessee, to get a good view of the sky to watch Venus as it appears at night.
Yeah, the only person I've seen that refutes that I think she refuted pretty well is Karen B. Have you seen that one, Zach? Karen,
I don't think so.
I think Karen B has modeled it and said that you can see it's just a scale thing, but I might be wrong about that. I'll have to check into that. Don't take my word for it.
I want to put together a video too, kind of like a PowerPoint with some animation to show. I don't think it can work in any fashion that you see Venus at night.
Okay.
And the fact that sometimes I've seen Venus until as late as 1 a.m. in the morning. Right. That should be utterly impossible. I can understand the arguments to being able to see it at dusk, but to see it after dusk, and especially like tonight, I'll probably be able to see it for 3 hours like last night. Now, what's interesting, like I said, I'm sitting up here on a hill. I'm at dusk right now. The sun has actually gone down, and I'm not seeing Venus, but yesterday I was out hunting in the woods, and before it was even sunset, I could see Venus. So I don't get why some days I can see it or not. And as well, about 3 weeks ago, I was in Florida down near Destin, Pensacola area, and Venus was visible before and after sunset then. And it's real easy to see it over the water, looking out over the dark ocean as well. But it was very visible. I was out on a pier, just a little community neighborhood pier, watching this. People go out on the pier to watch the sunset, and I would say to a few people, "Hey, you see that star there?" And they're like, "Yeah, I see. That's Venus. That should be impossible on the solar system model." Some people get it, some people don't. But
yeah, no, I've noticed a lot. Some people are not like spatial like that. They can't really picture it, I guess. So
yeah, so that was it. I also wanted to commend Austin for the great job he did on the fluoride debate. I mean, I really appreciate these past few debates he's been on. He's been going after it very aggressively. I think that was good. His Tim Pool debate was really good too. So that's all I wanted to say. That's it.
Thank you, brother.
All righty.
All right, thanks.
Have a good one.
Cunningham's Law. We got up next Lowry from the East Coast. Lowry.
The
What's up, GLOBEBUSTers?
Where's your better half?
You guys, she's back over here.
Okay.
Around.
Making sure
Say
you
hi,
can kick her out.
Did you put her in the closet already?
She's working on a new setup. She got her phone stolen at the airport the other night, so she's got to
run
some new cables to do the show tonight. Yeah, but we know where the phone's at. It's upstate in Poughkeepsie. And we're tracking it, and we'll tell the cops, like, her phone's there. And they're like, what are we supposed to do? We just go over there and say, like, hey, somebody in this 3-story apartment stole an iPhone. But you can't like go in. So we're like, but it's right here on the computer, man. You know? So
She just put it down and somebody took it, or was it like a trick?
Stole it when we were coming back from Detroit to New York for Thanksgiving. She put it down for a second and it was gone. Like,
Man, that sucks.
yeah, but when she got on the plane, check this out. When she got on the plane, she thought maybe she'd left it back at the airport somewhere else, or whoever stole it took it out of the airport. Well, she goes to put her headphones on the plane, and it connects to her iPhone. So somebody on the plane had her iPhone, right? So like she went to the stewardesses, and she says, "Can you make like an announcement, like if anybody accidentally picked up a phone or found a phone or something, could you just bring it to a stewardess or bring it to the checkout when we get to LaGuardia?" And nobody said anything, right? But she's sitting there listening to her own phone on the jet plane flying back. And it's like, that's impossible. It's got to be on this plane. So then we get out and we get on the airport, and we plug in her iPad and we start tracking it. And her phone walks past us in a group of people. We can't tell.
Oh my God. That's
who
so
has
weird.
it. We're telling the cops, but the cops are like, I don't know what we can do. We can't just go up to somebody and racially profile somebody. Like, I think you're the one that stole it. So it's really like.
Well, was there any black people in that crowd? That's the question. No, I'm just kidding.
There was all types, man. But we had some ideas, but whatever. I sent you a link in the private chat. I was just going to keep this short. I'm not going to be more than another minute.
Okay.
Did you know that they discovered a new galaxy? The tinfoil sombrero galaxy, dude.
The Sombrero Galaxy. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty
check
special
that
right
out.
there.
I took some liberties with that. So,
your new logo.
Wow,
anyway, that's all I got, guys. I know there's more people, but join us.
Guys,
after
look at this. Is what
GLOBEBUSTERS.
Hubble showed this, and then we got the Webb telescope, which only cost $10 billion of our tax money, and now we get this. So think of what we've discovered now that we've got this instead of this. Everything in the world has changed.
I can do that in Photoshop. I can do that in Adobe, whatever.
Yeah, but you don't get paid to do it, so that's why NASA's cooler than you.
I know. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you guys on the tinfoil sombrero.
We'll come by
after the show. Bye,
Sounds
guys.
good. Later.
Cheers.
We got Tone Blair. Blair, what up? Tone Blair. Turn off the YouTube feed. Come on over to the dark side. Tone Blair. Oops, sorry about that. What does that say? Oh. Tone Blair, you're on. Oh, shit. No, you're not. Now you are. My bad. That's my bad. That's all me. That's all me.
You there?
We're here. Now we got you. Sorry about that.
Okay, you can hear me though.
We hear you now. Great.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, man, so yeah, I'm super excited for your guys' trip, but I would be shitting a little bit too, man. I'd be getting a little nervous just because there's somebody unknown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say not nervous about that so much, but it's going to be interessante for sure.
Another thing too, I met a F-16 jet pilot the other day, and I wasn't asking him about the flat Earth shit, but I just asked him like how high they go up, and he said something, and you guys might know this already, but he's like, man, they only go about 62,000 feet because the atmosphere is so thin up there that the engines will start to peter out. And then he was saying though that the cockpit relies on the engines running to pressurize the cockpit, and if those go out, then they can lose the pressurization in the cabin.
Right.
Which I never knew that. I never knew the engines caused the pressurization of the cabin, but that's pretty interesting. It's like, yeah, well, how does any of that shit fly up there then? Which I know we've been saying forever, but just interesting to hear from a pilot.
Well, I mean, if they would say the globe excuse would be that when you're higher than that, everybody's in a suit, right?
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
But
even just like the jet propulsion.
Yeah, good quality. Now I'm thinking about that. I'm like, well, wait a second. Those guys who go up in the Jeff Bezos thing and go up,
rockets
yeah,
and all that shit. Like, how's any of that shit flying up there? But whatever. I just wanted to call in because I always try to do that when you offer the lineup. So,
well, thank you. It's good to see
y'all
you.
have a safe trip out there. You, Austin, Zach, and yeah, looking forward to the New Year. It's a shit show year for me, so I'm ready for it.
Yeah, looking forward to next year.
Yeah, y'all have a good trip, man, and I'll be looking forward to what you guys find out there.
All right, thanks.
All right, man.
Much love, Tone.
Hey, I wanted to cut the line. I'm just going to take 1 minute.
Wait a second. Why don't I see your square here? Where's your square? What the hell did you get in here? What the hell's going on? What's going on here? Dave found a backdoor access.
I did. Austin, your debate last night with Mr. Fluoride was so ridiculous. But think about this. The guy was saying, oh, little amounts don't matter. He's saying, oh, all the babies have teeth under their gums. That's why they should take it. But think about this. Homeopathy is a proven thing where you have the tiniest bit of medicine, and it makes a huge difference. Well, think what fluoride is doing. Just the time. I mean, just even less than they put in there. It's the same thing. It's insane. Do all Globers believe fluoride's good for you? Is that part of their,
I would say no one who thinks fluoride is good for you isn't a Glober, but there are definitely some Globers that don't think so.
All right, there you go. Because they have the moon landing's real. You must get the jibby jab. Fluoride's good, and the Earth is a globe. It seems to be their mantra.
What's so crazy is that he's a toxicologist, and he didn't differentiate between calcium fluoride that's natural and sodium fluoride that's like waste product. It's like
he wouldn't admit that the fluoride they put in the reservoirs is the industrial waste fluoride.
Yeah, and it's like way more. It gets way more absorbed into the water. Like the natural fluoride doesn't really get absorbed into the water at all, but the other one's readily absorbed into water. I don't know. It was also very weird for me to experience that live.
Yeah, the EPA requirements for getting rid of that are crazy expensive. And instead of paying that, they get paid to give the fluoride to the reservoir. So let me ask you a question. When they dump the fluoride in the water, who's measuring the amount of water to the amount of fluoride? Are they just dumping and dumping and dumping?
I mean, technically, they're supposed to measure. There are guidelines. I don't know how well they enforce them. But I know one thing, that they don't check it. It's not refined or anything. It's not pharmaceutical grade. So whatever's in it's in it. So here's a question for everyone. If it's a waste byproduct from manufacturing aluminum, you think it's possible it might have some aluminum in it?
Yeah, it
Like you
was
reach
without
a-
a doubt.
It's got mercury, arsenic, aluminum, all that in there with it. Crazy, bro. Crazy.
So last thing is are you now going to other topics, getting ready for when you see the sun circle around and become a glober?
That's what the Globers say.
That's what they're all saying.
It's so funny if you I read them in the chat in the comments. They're like, Austin knows his grifts up because the Antarctica trip's coming, so he's prepping. It's like what actually happened was James just messaged me a couple days ago and asked me if I wanted to debate fluoride in the water with a doctor because he saw my X post, and I said sure. So,
yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Great
they
job.
also said I abandoned Flat Earth on Timcast, and then I debated for it at the show. So
it's so stupid. So stupid. All right. Cheers. See ya.
Love.
Oops, I was on mute. My bad. Let's see. Anybody else? So we got another person here. We got Noah, famed for his arc. Noah, welcome to the show.
Yes, hello. So, oh man, I was at some place, so I just come back and I see I missed the whole thing. But I'm coming back at the very end, I guess. So I don't know how long I'm supposed to be up here. I probably want to
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. Well, okay. So final experiment closer and closer. So I feel like whatever's going to happen, I'm going to be shocked. Anything like whether they cloud up the sky, whether the sun, I don't think, I mean, the chance that they'll let you guys see the sunset is small, but it now looks like they're making it so they're not canceling the trip, right? It looks like they're not doing that.
Well, as of now, they haven't canceled it yet.
Yeah. But, oh, well, I guess they could still, but do you still think they're going to do that?
No, I'd say every day that goes by, my thoughts of that go less and less. But
yeah,
do I still think it's a possibility? Yeah. Still something could pop off in the next week or so that would cause them to cancel the trip. There's rumors of wars and things like that over in the East. A lot of those things might cause problems. But as Austin and I said from the very beginning, that we're not afraid of the truth. And we want to be there to witness it. We think we're the right people to witness it. We're the right people to not get sucked into some hit piece or something else like that. And we've got the community's best interests in mind, while at the same time our own safety and everything like that. So we just thought we were the right people. And I also feel that if the sun does circle down there, then people have every right to know the truth that it does. So there's really like a no lose kind of situation. Is that's the way we look at it.
Yep. Because yeah, I mean, and if the sun does circle down there, I don't know. I feel like we would know about it by now. There would be tons of videos, obviously. So
yeah, it almost creates more questions than it answers.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure if I don't have really much any other things to talk about, but I do have one thing. This is kind of off topic. I don't think you've ever talked about this topic. It's not really about flat Earth, but have you ever heard the topic of determinism?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering, like, do you have any thoughts on it? Because I talk about this topic sometimes.
What do you say about it? You believe it? You believe it? So that's like whether or not we have free will or no?
What?
Is it like whether or not we have free will?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I disagree with the people who say we don't. So basically, people believe that all the things in the universe have been previously decided or something, which I don't. I don't think that that's equates much to free will. I mean, I'm just different. I don't believe God knows the future, personally. I think that if you created beings, as soon as you create two beings with free will, it becomes unknowable. And from that point on, you can't know, even if you're the creator of that, even if you're the creator of all. To know the future would then, I think, erase your existence. That's just me. Because I think that if you knew the future, then why live? You wouldn't need to live. The only reason you live, or the only reason you experience anything, is because you don't know what the next second is bringing you. As soon as you know everything that's going to happen the rest of the time, then you don't really need to exist. It would be boring. It would be like, I already know this story. Why would I even want to watch it play out? It doesn't make any sense. So, would people watch a baseball game if they knew every single thing, every pitch of every inning and every hit? Why would you watch the game? That's a complete waste of time. You've already seen it. So to me, I think that as soon as God creates free will beings and gives us free will, that is the ultimate gift, number one, because you're not a robot. You don't have to go by certain rules. You're given free will. Do what you want. But I think with that comes that inner feeling inside you, which tells you right from wrong. As a kid, as a teenager, you might get away with some stuff that I don't think you're really totally responsible for, unless it's huge. But then I think at a certain point, you have the whole eating of the apple, the good and evil. You see the two roads, and then you decide what path to take. And I think a majority of the people in this world take the path most traveled, which is the one where you get to continue being a scumbag. And you're offered money along the way. I mean, look at everybody who is in any kind of the media, any kind of music, any kind of movies, actors, Hollywood. All those people have clearly taken the buyout. They've sold their soul, sold their soul to the devil, which is when you take the money rather than saying what's true, being doing what's right. So that's my opinion of basically the world. The world is a result of that, which is more and more people taking the money. And I believe that the love of money is the root of all evil. You know, the Bible's definitely true there. That once you become more enamored with the money, then you can no longer actually promote the truth. The two don't mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess I agree with that. I mean, because that is true. Like, if you do know the next thing, like, there's not much point to playing it out. But I mean, I don't know ultimately. But yeah, I don't know. I was just asking because I know I've heard like you do believe in free will before. Because with your because I think you said I'm not trying to like argue with you or anything but I think you said you think this place is like a test or something, and you get rewarded if you're like a good person.
Well, I wouldn't know that, and I think that if you
wouldn't know that,
and if you do things for a reason of a reward, then are you really a good person, or are you just doing it for the reward? So I think it is. If it were a test, it would be a great test. If it really was about just seeing who's the best people, who do right for the right reasons, who don't sell out, who maintain their honesty. And then I would think that I just kind of pictured there could be another world after this where people who did well in this one, being the good people, go on to that next world. And imagine how great that world would be if it was just clearly and cleanly the best people from this. I think that would be that would be heaven on earth.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people here that are, not good people. And that's what sucks about this world. That's why I think it could be hell or it could be whatever, because you'll always have people taking advantage of you. You'll just never have a period of time where like everybody could leave their doors open at night. No, because there'll be some scumbag that will go around and steal things from people because they don't want to do any work. They don't want to actually do any, exert any physical activity to, make money or whatever. So, and again, the world's a effed up place because of the economy and what they've done with money, because now you can never even get rid of industries like the space industry, which makes $580 billion a year, because it would completely destroy the economy. So you have to keep the space lie up to keep the entire world lie up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was watching your one of your previous streams on that, talking about how absurd like the money, how absurd it is of how much they get.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Oh, money's just a joke. I mean, yeah, and then you get such inequality. Talk about, you have this 1% of people that have, I think, is it 1% of people have 99% of the wealth? Is that right? I think that's something like that. Maybe it's 90%. 1% have 90% of the wealth or something. But that's just insane.
Closer to 90.
Yeah, it's just insane. And I mean, the fact that these guys have, what did they list? Elon Musk at something, 200 billion or something. I mean, we hear that number, we just kind of fathom over it, just kind of gloss over it. But we don't think about how much money $500 million is, and then $750 million, and then $999 million, and then you're at 1 billion. And then you got to do that all again to get to 2 billion. And then think if somebody has 200 billion, that doesn't make any sense. Just stupid. Yeah. Just stupid. So they've stolen all the wealth. They make people work for pennies on the dollar. They've convinced the world that truth should be free. So people don't want to support people talking truth on the internet or people trying to bring truth to the forefront. So what happens? Those people are around for a couple of years, then they go because nobody can sustain it. I mean, look what happened with the internet. They said that everything on the internet would stay there, right? They always told us, don't put anything on the internet, it's there forever. Well, that's totally not true. There's so many websites that used to exist where people would upload video after video after video of these conspiracy stuff and things like that. Well, when you can't pay your server costs anymore, it gets deleted. So all those websites and all those videos are gone forever, unless somebody saved them on their computer or has it at their house. But the idea of things going to the internet are there forever. No, only if you have unending money. So things Google puts up, things that the Washington Times puts up, things that CNN puts up, those may be on the internet forever, but it's because they have money. So they've really tricked people into not realizing what money can do to help a movement by saying the truth should be free. Truth is the most valuable thing that there is. It would be impossible if that were free. But that's what people think. People think they'd rather give money to Target and Walmart and Amazon than to people speaking the truth on the internet. They should just realize that there's a end result to that, which is not a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Yeah, I was just asking you because yeah, like I said, I know you've said you think like we make choices before, and I was just presenting this idea to you, because I didn't know if you heard it or not. But if you,
Yeah, I've heard it before.
yeah.
I just disagree with it. I mean, I think that we do have free will within reason. And again, I also understand that you're a product of your upbringing, right? So clearly, however you're raised would make a difference in what you choose. So it's not like total free will from a spirit perspective. No, you're going to base things off of the past and what you've learned and what you've been taught. And so, but is that still free will? Well, if you look down at a keyboard and somebody says press F or J, it is you. You're determining which one you press. It's nothing about. It's not been predetermined. In my mind.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's an interesting concept. I mean, I think the default position is that we do have free will, but you know, like I said, like our brain influences us, like our thoughts, feelings.
Well, that's definitely true. And then they can take over, right? Man can take over your thoughts with MK Ultra. I mean, I'm pretty convinced that most of these false flag stuff that happens are through orchestrated agents that are mind controlled. And I think that the government may place that there, and then they're kind of there around that event, knowing something will happen, and then they spin a narrative after, and I think that's how they get it done. So that's just me.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Have a good one. We've got
You too.
Pseudosciences. What is this? Pseudosciences University. I've never heard of such university. I can't wait to get a degree there. What's up? How's it going?
Hey man, how you doing, man?
Good.
Man, big fan of this show. Been watching you for years.
Thanks.
I watched you over on what's his name, Sanchez channel, and I loved how you handled yourself over there, man. It was great watching you.
Well, thank you. Not very many people have said that, but thank you.
No, for sure. All right, so two things, bro. One is the lack of faith in a God in the world today, right? Back in the, say, 20 years ago, you had people going to church and people and all type of stuff, right? So do you remember back in 2005 when the VMAT2 gene was subscribed or allocated to being the God gene?
Would you say it was called VMAT2?
VMAT2.
I don't know anything about it. Austin, you looked into this? Or Zach? I'll have to look
No. The VMAT2 gene called the God gene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
yeah, they supposedly did
Bill
that back
Gates
in the
did
day,
a
and they
presentation.
isolated brain activity.
Yeah. Bill Gates did a presentation at the Pentagon. It was a video that was out. And they tried to debunk it, but we know that's him now today. And he was saying that he developed a vaccine that would be a VMAT2 inhibitor, which would prevent people who were overzealous in, Arabs and blowing up stuff and things of that nature. It would suppress their desire to be so zealous about God. And I'm like, well, maybe that's what happened to a lot of us, because I haven't seen so many people in the world just hate the idea of a God, a creator. And if you study flat earth or anything about the earth, genuinely, you know that it's a machine, that it's something created and not a happenstance, right? For instance, the noble gases that's in the top of the earth, right? Because I was a diehard flat earther. I'm a pyramid earther now, but I was a diehard flat earther. And I studied it down to a T all the way down to the noble gases. And I realized that the noble gases above actually are emitting the daylight. When the sun rays pass through it, they ionize the noble gases, and each layer emits a layer of blue light. And when the sun moves away, what's the last gas? Nitrogen. That will be the orangish color that you see, right? When the sun is away from you, because it circles around the earth in like a cone shape, going back and forth. It circles. If you look at the analemma, you will see in the north, it's a smaller circle than it is in the south. That's because it's a cone shape in the north. Had you noticed that?
No, but I do want to know more about Pyramid Earth, because I've always there's something to the pyramid, definitely. And I've always kind of looked at the sky and said, isn't it kind of like a pyramid? It kind of goes to a point, the center, and then. So can you explain real quick what exactly if you had to explain it in just a couple sentences, exactly what it means?
For sure. So we stick with the flat Earth. The Gleason map is a perfect example. If you look at the maps, you notice that there are 4 corners. You have Africa, which is South Africa. You got South America. You have Australia, and you have the Pacific area. And beneath that water is Zealandia, and that the evidence of that is the islands that are in that area. No islands are floating; they're connected to land below.
Right.
So if you look up Zealandia, you will see. So that's 4 corners. It's literally 4 corners of the earth, not north, south, east, west. Africa, Australia, South America, and Zealandia. Now, each one of those land masses come to a point when going north. It's an incline, a 7,901 polar diameter high altitude, polar diameter in altitude. So they all converge. So notice that in the north, all of the lands converge, and in the south, they separate, they spread out. So it's an incline from South Africa going to the North Pole. Overall, there will be an incline in altitude, and the evidence is on the latitude lines. They're smaller in the center, heading away from the Polaris star. They widen, and they mirror the latitude lines. The land mirrors the latitude. The analemma, the sun's analemma, starts as a cone in the north. It doesn't go beyond the Tropic of Cancer. It crosses the equator, and then it goes down to the Tropic of Capricorn. So that means everybody that is below the Tropic of Capricorn have to now look north to see the sun. So it looks like it's going the opposite way. You will get the illusion that you're on the bottom, but really you're just farther than the sun travels. So you have to look north to see the sun.
So what would happen if you were down below the Tropic of Capricorn and you looked south and saw the sun?
You won't.
Okay. Just making sure we're on the same page.
You won't look south and see the sun. You'll see the reflection of the sun off of the dome, maybe. You'll see light, but you won't see the sun.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I was a diehard flat earther, and then I did the whole little you know how you take the Giza pyramid and you run a little math through it, and it'll tell you if you add the northeast side together, you know, it tell you how to work the math and this, that, and the other. I did it a long time ago, and I'm like, well, how the hell is this pyramid a model of the globe Earth? So some years went by, and this dude in it was 2007, he created the map called the Autura World Map, AUTHRA World Map or something like that. And it's the most perfect map. So what he did is he took the globe and he divided it into 97 triangles, and then he formed it into a tetrahedral. And then now he's able to flatten it into a square without distorting the land or the water. So I'm like, hold on. So you mean to tell me in order to get a perfect flat map without distorting the land or the water, all you got to do is turn the globe into a tetrahedral, which is a pyramid? And that was and he got an award and everything for us. So let's just eliminate the globe and let's just start with the pyramid, because everything points towards a pyramid. The entire shape of the earth is in ruins now. But you got to think about it. It's literally a pyramid in a crater. You climb up above the land, above the ice wall, and there's more land, but that land angles down. It's like Earth is on top of a greater pyramid. I know it sounds crazy, man, but it doesn't. I mean,
we were talking to flat earthers, so we don't think it's crazy. But what do you, where's a place that we can find more about Pyramid Earth? I know I've seen Rising Earth and I've seen all these other theories, but where can we? Is anybody doing good work on Pyramid Earth?
The first person I looked up was Lothan Green. Lothan Green proposed the tetrahedral shaped Earth, which is a pyramid Earth, back in 1800s. And then it was shortly knocked out by continental drift. And I realized, like, hold on, man, the Earth I've been looking at maps for years, looking at all of these maps, and the Earth has literally been the same shape. So what if continental drift is a lie and it's more liquefaction?
Yeah, because continental drift doesn't even make sense anyway, that they're not islands.
Right. They're not islands. They're all connected. The land is connected to the land is connected to land beneath the water. It's not floating. So all of the Earth. So when I look at Earth, I look at it in 3 parts. land, sea, and air, right? But most people look at it as one part. When they include the globe, Earth, they're including the atmosphere. The land is only Earth. Earth is only land. That's what's emerging from the water.
Right.
That is shaped like a mountain. The water is a circle, and the atmosphere is a hemisphere. So they're including all of that in the globe. In order to do the math of the Earth, you only measure the land, because that's what Earth is.
Right. And clearly they took the 70% or whatever you want to call it of water and just applied the globe Earth curvature to it.
I think the curvature is coming from, the curvature is the horizon. The only curve is the horizon. Like when you read in the scripture and it says, I was there when he placed the circle at the face of the deep, on the bottom of the deep. That's the horizon. It's a circle.
Right.
Right. Now, when you in space, you're going to still see a circle, but that's not the true horizon. Because the camera, it can't see that far. First of all, nobody will be able to see the entire Earth. So it's just going to cut off what it can't interpret. And that would be a circle. But they also hold the camera at an angle. So when you see the horizon or the little blue noble gases area
right
close to the horizon, that means they got the camera tilted. Because if it was straight across linear, then the horizon would be a lot farther from the blue atmosphere. So just pay attention to that. They got the camera tilted to make it look like it's a globe. Really, it's flat, and the camera is tilted so it just only get the top, that portion.
Right.
Got one more thing for you.
Yeah.
I put it in the back chat. I'm working on a paper right now. I did a quick video. It's fairly low, but what I propose is that once I realized that the sun is electromagnetic and how it affects everything, how like everything is affected. Like the moon, for instance, the moon generates its own light. I know you probably haven't heard that before, but it's true. And I have the NASA data from the 40th Lunar Conference with them actually stating that it is the albedo of the moon comes from the X-ray and gamma ray that's being emitted by the sun. And it literally glows in the dark without any sun or earth shine. So the Book of Enoch is true about the moon. It's literally true. It literally will tell you in the report. It gives you the gamma ray, the X-ray. They call it galactic cosmic radiation and solar something polarization or something like that. And it's all about.
It's funny you say that. Austin, remember I told you something that Alex Stein told me, and I can't remember what it was, but Alex Stein asked me about the moon and the sun.
And that Elon's like nephew or something said that it was a pyramid?
No. I told you that Alex Stein said something about the shining of the sun and the moon. He said the moon is like 1/7 the power of and I was like, no, that's totally wrong. And then I went and looked because I was like, it's got to be way less than that. And then I looked and it says that the moon reflects 1/7 of the, and that's what Enoch says.
Right.
Oh, I do remember.
But it doesn't reflect light. It's like you got to remember, we're not seeing the sun's light move across space. Of course, there's nothing there to manifest it or show that there's light. But the sun, it's invisible light that is powering the moon. It's not
visible light. I got you.
It's not visible light. Exactly. It's invisible light. It's your gap. And notice how the moon its albedo is like a fucking negative. It's like an X-ray, or you know what I'm saying? It's a negative. If it's reflecting Earth, I see the moon as a literal crystal orb that is powered, or that emits light that comes on when the sun's light powers it, but not visible light, just the X-ray and the gamma ray. And just like I was saying, the sun light passing through the noble gases and emitting those gases into the daylight that we see, as in like in an umbrella type way. The sun is very significant. And then even gases like xenon permit certain rays from the sun from coming down here from harming us. So that's an important thing to take into consideration as well, that the noble gases not only emit light, they also protect us from certain radiations of the sun.
Let me just explain. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, I just wanted to explain to people what this caller's doing that is so different than other people. Is if you start proclaiming you know the truth and that people should listen to you, and this is the reason they should listen to you, then you have problems. You have to be like this guy. Just offer up information, offer up your thoughts, your opinions, why you feel that way, the backup evidence for it, and then let people take it or leave it. It's, if he came on here and was saying you guys are all wrong about everything you do, it's a pyramid and this is why, and we know for a fact, then people get defensive and they tune out. But I think everyone in the chat's tuning in, and we're tuning in because what you're saying is you're just offering information that we're able to think about and assess. Somebody did ask, though, they said, can you please clarify with this caller that he's not saying the ground slants like the sides of a pyramid. If he thinks it's flat with a pyramid type sky, he's still a flat earther. Which one are you saying they want to know?
I'm saying that the ground slants. The sky is electromagnetic, how electromagnetism emits like a bubble. That's what the sky is. You know what I'm saying? That's the sky.
Mm-hmm.
But the ground is shaped. We excavate it as humans. We excavate it to be flat with the horizon so that we can live and drive on it. But quintessentially, it's a pyramid. It's a mountain. That's what it is. But when you look at the four corners, and
are you talking kind of like the Ferguson map?
I'm sorry.
Are you talking about like the Ferguson map? Have you seen the Ferguson map?
I'm talking about like the Hartford Mundy map, or the Hereford map, or the Walls-Muller map that's actually showing. And so my hunch, I'm theorizing right now. Well, I'm hypothesizing right now that when you look at the Walls-Muller map and you see the pyramid on top of the Earth, that's the actual Polaris star, which was probably the 1,000-year reign of God on Earth. And that's already passed for us. Now we're probably at a point, and I'm not no religious fanatic. I'm just saying according to the narrative, because I'm open to just about everything.
Can you see this map on the screen? I don't know if you can see it. You kind of like this one. This here is a
kind of like that, but you got to remember, water doesn't go uphill.
Well, but water, it would be in a bowl. Like this would be a bowl, so water could easily be here across, going all the way up to. But you're saying it wouldn't go up along these continents.
Right. I mean, and if you notice in the North Pole, the water is still sea level in the North Pole.
Right.
So it literally collapsed inward. So you can look down about 600 feet and see the sea, which is if you notice that between America and Africa is a big old crack. So that water, that Southern Ocean is going straight to the center of the Arctic and adding to the sea. But the land itself is what's at an angle. The water is still flat.
Gotcha.
So that would be kind of correct, you know what I'm saying, in a sense. The only thing is that it's literally four corners. I would just call it a cone, because that's what I first said. It was like a cone shape, because I was preparing for a flat Earth debate against a globe earther. And then I said, well, I'm gonna have to be on point, and I started looking at the elevation, and there was no consistent elevation that you can trace, or you can even ask the Google about. You have to look at it and look at the latitude lines and see how the latitude lines converge in the center and flare out going south. And the actual continents, the southern continents, are literally 6,000 miles apart. You know, give or take.
Yeah, no, I having to think about that, because I have heard them say before that the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean are different heights, which I've never understood how they actually say that, but I just looked it up. It does say, I thought it was more. It just says 8 inches.
Yeah, it's not much. It's not. You got to remember, you're not going to get a flat water because it's breathing. The water's breathing. The sun is so powerful that it's called, it's like magnetohydrodynamics. You know what I'm saying? Like where liquids are able to be affected by a magnetism. So it's stuff inside of the liquid that is affected by the magnetic sun. And think about this. Notice how the poles are very, very cold, right? And the moon and the sun both stick in a position in between the poles.
Correct.
And think about what is it called when you take the trains that's in
maglev?
What is it called? Yeah, and you use cold, really cold stuff, and magnets stay in the position that they are. What is that called?
Superposition or superconductivity.
Yes, and that's what's happening. That's what's happening between the sun and the moon. That's why it's cold. And then guess what? As the sun is it's getting dark faster, the sun is moving into between two different tropics than it's normally been in. It's moving into a different tropics. That's why it's getting dark faster. This is what changing the poles mean.
Right.
It will be no longer between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer. It's going to be between two new tropics. And it's going to be two different cold positions on the Earth to maintain the sun and the moon being able to travel around and maintain.
And that's what they say happened in the past, right? I mean, they actually, I think I've heard that the sun could have pushed people out because if the sun starts going south, and I actually have somebody who was a listener of mine who called me and told me he's sure that the sun goes past the Tropic of Capricorn. He's pretty sure it's already passed it by, I think he said 26 degrees, but he says that it's moved his whole life. He says it's going to continue moving south, but they won't tell you that.
It does. That's what happens over and over.
So what happens? A new
sun. Fibonacci sequence. I've seen it done before. I've seen it explained before. It's all in the Fibonacci sequence, and it just keep coming back around over and over again. So you will look at the moon, and you can see that, yeah, quite possibly it's the Earth upside down with some more land to it. So if that's true, that means that the sun has to travel around a greater circle than we are familiar with at some point or another.
Right.
And then we just migrate. We just migrate from all over the world. I don't believe Africa is the starting point. I believe that the North Pole is the starting point, seeing as though you have pyramids and palm trees. And then humanity just migrated down the mountain of God, Mount Olympus. It says that Satan went to the far reaches of the north. We now realize the far reaches of the north is dead center.
Right. All right. Well, that's good. I appreciate the call, and I think that it's a lot of information, and people can find you. That's your YouTube channel name, right? Pseudoscience University.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Check it out. If you guys are interested in any pyramid Earth stuff, check that out. Thanks a lot. All right.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Very interesting. All right. Anything else from you guys? We are pretty much done. We're at our 3-hour mark. And
you guys ever heard that like Elon's nephew or something, when they asked him about flat Earth, he said that he had always been told that it was a pyramid.
And he wasn't joking. Well, I think there's something there for sure. I mean, and then if you kind of look at the Masonic ideas, their square and compass, even like Vitruvian Man. I was trying to figure out right now, I was putting a compass to Vitruvian Man, trying to see if his arms were up at a certain angle. And I do get anywhere from, it could be 22 to 24 to 25, but I'm wondering if it's 23 and a half. I don't know. I can't tell where you would put the baseline of the protractor. If I move
I'm gonna have to think about this for a little while.
Yeah, draw it out and look at the math on it and see if you can figure out what the arms are at. Because I wonder if this is like the idea of man, the idea of the Earth, of the 23 and a half degrees. I don't really know which one of those is correct. But I tried to look up angles too, and I don't really see anything that says angles. Although I do see here it says that. Can you do math for me real quick? It's what is 1/16 as far as, so take 360 divided by 16. Looks like it says it's 1/16 part of a circle. I don't know what that would be. 360 divided by 16. I think it's an even number, isn't it? Let me find my calculator here. 360 divided by 16 equals 22 and a half. Huh. So I guess his arms are at 22 and a half degrees. If I'm understanding this right. From this, immediately apparent that the arms and legs have pivot points, which are very much a part of the system, and that the arms pivot from point 5, the mid-breast, the legs pivot to 1/3 of a cubit above the navel, denoted point A. The legs rise by only 90 millimeters, or 1/20th of the height above the sole foot position, and then the arms are talking about 1/16 of a circle. Very interesting stuff. I think that there's a lot going on with the Leonardo da Vinci, whether you believe he lived or not. The fact that he wrote in mirrors, and then you had to look at a mirror in order to read the writing. I think he's telling us something about mirrors. But again, a lot of this stuff is going to be hard to find because people would have written lies about it, and that's what you'd usually find is like commentary on it, right? It's hard to find his actual writing, hard to find the actual texts. Anybody in the audience have any other questions? I'm going to shut down the StreamYard, so that's going to go away. But you can ask us real quick in the next 5 minutes while we say our adioses. And then as far as keeping in contact with me as we get ready, I guess, can check out my channel for sure. If we can do any live streams, obviously from various places along the way, we will. But we also have, I've got t.me/Jeran. So it's t.me/JERANTS. And I'll be updating that as much as I can. And then also there's, we are going to be carrying GPS trackers on us. And there'll be a map. I believe it'll be available at the final experiment or the-final-experiment.com. But the map will tell you from the time we take off in our plane where we're at throughout the entire trip. And then we're supposed to be able to leave a recording on it of like a minute a day or something, and that'll show up on the map as well. So that's probably a place that you can track us if you want to. But I think that is it for me. Oh yeah, and then if you want to talk with in a private setting, at least with Austin and Lisbeth and myself, you can join the Jeranism VIP, whop.com/Jeranism, and you will get this hangout, which is coming up on December 7th. That's just coming Saturday at 12 noon. And those people also get access to the GoPro footage. So that might be a good expenditure, even if it's just for the month. To get in with them, you get to hang out with us on Saturday, and we'll just be asking them some questions. So if you've got anything that you want to ask, you can feel free to do so. Again, that's December 7th at 12 noon for VIPs, whop.com/Jeranism. What do you got coming up, Zach?
We will be doing GLOBEBUSTERS Tech this Thursday. And the same old, Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern, Iron Rail Media. You can catch us on YouTube, on Rumble, or at freeworld.fm.
How's that station going?
I see a lot of different people. I don't know if they're live so much. I know our chat, it's kind of active. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, advertising, man. That's the name of the game. It really is.
Yeah, it's always.
It's so hard to do. Oh yeah,
it's like when we opened up our bookstore. We opened up our bookstore expecting people to just come and we had it all inventory ready to go, and then we like open the store and it's like nobody. We're like, wait, what? How do you get people to your internet site? We had to learn the hard way. We have
so
somebody
much to do with advertising.
Commercial Sound and Video says, GLOBEBUSTERS, do you have a thermal camera? Austin, what's the word on that? I know somebody mentioned that, but I don't know. If
I don't know. I don't have one, right? I mean, I'm supposed to be setting up a little meeting in Discord where a bunch of people are going to come and kind of give their feedback on what they think is the best things to bring, anything they thought of that we may have overlooked.
Okay.
Stuff like that. And then maybe, I mean, a last minute little list of things if people want to pitch in to get stuff. I'm not spending I can't spend any money on it, right? So
no, I think that the
and also
community
we have
would
like a
pitch
weight
in.
limit. So
yeah, the weight limit's what you got to worry about. I would get packed early just to see what it is, because I can't even imagine getting below 55, but I'm gonna have to. And I can't
even imagine getting below 55 with just the clothes and stuff. Like every time I've ever tried to travel with like hoodies and sweatsuits and
we're
stuff,
so big.
It so quickly hits the limit.
Right, like one sweater of mine weighs 2 pounds. I mean, it's just the way I'm bigger. I'm taller. My shoes weigh a lot. My boots weigh a ton. It's going to be impossible. But I did want to say thank you to Richard B. He donated $30. Says safe travels to Jeran and Austin. Thanks for all you do, guys. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you, Richard B. And we've got Rasco Hearn for $50. Says blessings to all the team. Best of luck in the Counter Arctic, and thank you for all the amazing content. Can't wait to see what 2025 brings to the Flat Earth community. So thank you very much. And then Crumb, I think we got him last week. Thank you, Crumb. And then I'll check the super chats. Go ahead. Sorry, interrupt you. Well, that was it, I guess, what we were saying. Is there any super chats on here? I see Commercial Sound and Video says, do you have a thermal camera? Oh, there we go. Same thing again. Do you have a thermal camera to see the sun through the clouds? $129 on Amazon. Here's a quick video. I did get solar binoculars, which are only good for one reason, and that's looking at the sun. You can't look at anything else. Anything else in the world is black. But I have those just so that somebody's always keeping an eye on it. I guess you can't. Oh, what's that? That was weird. All my lights just flickered in here. Did the internet stayed up? Weird.
Yep, you're here.
Okay. Yeah, all the lights just went off and I'm back on. So that I lost where I was going with that. Totally distracted me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, talking about the sun through the clouds. So we do have that. I've got lots of stuff again. The one thing I know is just the chances that it can go is very, very, very slim. Is the drone? It's just not going to be possible. There's just no way to get extra weight, and it's not even just because I know you can pay for another bag if you're on a plane, but it's the ALE rules going from Punta Arenas to Antarctica that they cap at the 55
That
pounds.
makes no sense. That makes zero. It's not like the plane can't carry it. There's got to be
Well, I guess
not that
the
many
reason-
people going.
I guess the reason why is because planes don't like to land with fuel. So planes usually land empty or close to, right? They want to kind of run out of fuel when they're getting to the place, because you don't want to land a plane with a bunch of fuel. Well, when they go to Antarctica, they have to pick up people there and bring them back. And of course, there's no fuel in Antarctica. So you can't refuel the plane. So the plane flies there on a full tank and has to land on a full tank, or half full tank, and then has to pick up the people that are there and bring them back. So it has to land on the ice with a pretty good amount of fuel on the plane, which I guess is not something that usually planes do. That's what I've heard. That's what I've been told. Again, I don't know anything, but it's pretty weird to be landing on ice. That'll be interesting if that happens. Can't even imagine that. It's insane to even hear about what they claim that is. That's like 2 miles of ice topped on top of each other. That's what Antarctica is.
Oh yeah, I've driven cars on ice. Ice it's safe. You'll be all right.
Yeah, just a weird thought. And then if the sun does circle down there for 6 months and then just none of the ice melts ever, doesn't ever get warm enough to melt. I guess it never gets above 32 is the rumor. So it's going to be very interessante for sure. But I don't know how any of it will work. But like I said, I think that we have every right to know the truth. And as of right now, if we were starting to tell people, hey, draw a flat earth map, it'd be very difficult for people because they don't know what the sun does in the south. We've been told one thing, evidence leads to another. And if we're really going to get closer to actual reality, we need to find out what's going on down there. So that's my opinion there. So thank you very much, Commercial Sound and Video, for that. Anything else you want to say, Austin? Austin?
No, I don't think so. Stay tuned. Should be interesting coming couple weeks.
Yeah,
big
check-
show, and then should be interesting.
Thank you very much, Sandra.
Kofi, I give updates there. Go to Telegram and Kofi if you want to kind of keep up with what's going on.
Titus says, I so don't trust that Duffy guy. Jeran and Austin, do not accept any drinks or food from these people while you're on there. Please, for the love of God. Yes, we will not allow each other to do that.
We should fast in Antarctica?
Probably, if I think about it. Can we bring like a little test kit? Test the drinks and
You
stuff?
should just be eating sticks of butter.
Hey, they used to tell us butter was bad for you. Now it's good for you. It's amazing how things change. Eggs,
raw butter.
Good for you, bad for you. I don't know. I guess it depends on the type. Every small plane pilot dumps fuel before they land. Is that correct? Phil, is that true? Every small plane pilot dumps fuel before they land. And he says, haha, is that a joke, Phil?
Never heard of such a thing.
Let me search that real quick. I want to know.
I guess he's joking something about how the fuel conspiracy.
I don't know. Do planes dump fuel? Let's see here. No, I am kidding. Oh, yes, planes dump fuel, but it's a rare occurrence. Planes dump fuel, also known as jettisoning, in emergencies or due to maintenance issues. For example, if a plane needs to land.
No, he's kidding.
He says if a plane needs to land before reaching its destination, the crew might dump fuel to reduce the plane's weight and ensure a safe landing. So I don't think you can land with a good amount of fuel in there, is what it's saying. Dumping fuel mid-flight is the last resort for commercial airlines, only done when no other options are available to reduce landing weight to ensure safe landings. Pilots try to avoid populated areas and other aircraft when dumping fuel, following very strict guidelines. So it does happen in order to make a safe landing.
Yeah, that makes sense because when we used to have to fuel planes, we didn't always fill them up if they were traveling a short distance.
Right. Okay.
It's not like a car, just fill your tank all the time.
Right. And I guess it also probably the lighter the plane is flying, probably the cheaper, I'm guessing.
Well, all right. My girls are crying.
All right. Later. We appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much. Keep an eye on us. I don't think. Yeah, look it up, Phil. That's what I just looked up, and it says they do if they have to for safe landing. But anyway, okay. I think that's everything. Much love to you guys. Again, follow me, t.me/Jerants, Jerants, as where I'll be kind of updating the trip and people there, and then the VIP group obviously will get updates. And I think that is all I've got for you. All right, we will listen to. I don't know. Let's try. Do I have anything to listen to on the way out of here? Maybe I don't. Conspiracy Music Guru. Probably listen to him. I'll bring that up, and then we'll be out of here. So thank you guys. We appreciate it. And we say a prayer for us. That would be nice of you. Don't hope for war, even though it wouldn't be that bad of a thing. But
Godspeed, Jeff. You got this.
What did that one guy say? He wanted to give me his condolences or something. What he said? Last rites?
Like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, okay, hold on a second. I don't know about that.
I'll be back.
We will be back. Don't you worry. Let's bring up Conspiracy Music Guru, who is no longer on YouTube, by the way. If you guys don't know that, check out Conspiracy Music Guru's latest post. He's actually moving to Patreon. He's upset at YouTube for their throttling, as we all are. People act like we're not throttled, even though every flat earther that there is has been stuck at their same number for 4 years. That makes a lot of sense.
Like 7 years now.
Yeah, you're right. Longer than that. We'll listen to Conspiracy Music Guru's newest song, the NASA Trance, on the way out of here. Much love to you guys. We will talk soon. Until then, this has been GLOBEBUSTERS. This is the end of Season 12. We'll see you for the start of Season 13 and a new host coming to you on January the 5th. So until then, this has been Jeran and the guys. Till then, peace.
Peace.
Alright, start your booing, cause I'm about to ruin the heliocentric model that you used to. It looks funny, but NASA's making money, see? So NPCs, I hope you're ready to see. They say it's round, but you can't tell from the ground, and the sun only looks like it's going down. I'll tear up all the evidence you got on your shelf and expose all the proof that I see myself. NASA's grumpy. The first pilot was a monkey. Yo, ladies, why is your hair so frumpy? And all you CGI fanboys, please allow me to trump thee. It's not a fall, y'all. Just like Humpty Dumpty, it's gonna crack like Joe Biden's bad knee. I'm in my prime, a little bit chunky. I'm a junkie. I keep the flat earth funky. I'm done with this. Globe versus flat. The drama's so ridiculous, it's getting really hard to be conspicuous. Hey yo, flat girl, you know the globe is gibberish, yeah, you know it's flat, but NASA says it's spinning. But it never caused me to get dizzy, I'm a geek. I love staring at the moon, it's not a dusty ball in an infinite vacuum. I'm pasty, like biscuits and gravy. You hate winter, but it just don't faze me. All your globers do is tap dance, it's a psychopathic romance. Don't be a NASA punk, come on, don't be a Jackson chunk. Don't flake out, y'all, don't be a NASA punk or a Jackson chunk. Yeah, do you know what they're doing? They're doing the contest fun. Don't be a NASA chump, don't be a fanboy punk. Yo, people say the flat earth is really funny looking. That's alright, cause the movement is cooking. You lie, you fib, you constantly take people's money, and it just ain't funny. I'm not a slave bee, so don't you blame me. And the ISS is fake, see? Oh yeah, buddy, you know their motives are weird, cause in 69 the US had their head up their rear. The scam is big, nuh-uh, they're not ashamed. Big like the Trump card, they still haven't played. They get paid on the daily, you know it's a farce. Drinking what they're pissing and their budget's too large. They're either stupid, or their brains are diluted. Anything they've ever done has been disputed. Aimed at the moon one time and y'all missed it. Now you're at the bottom of a pool eating Triscuits. Other images are CGI. It's pretty obvious that all they do is lie. All you have to do is give Nazis a chance, and NASA's gonna do their dance. The NASA trance turns a man into a chump. Don't be a NASA punk, come on, don't be a Jackson chump. Don't flake out, y'all, don't be a NASA punk or a Jackson chump. Yeah, do you know what they're doing? They're doing the contest fun. Don't be a NASA chump, don't be a fanboy punk. Ah yeah, space is fake, y'all. They're laughing in your face, yeah? Ah yeah, now that you know a little bit about NASA, let me tell you a little bit about myself. There's not much to say, check it out. Heard the earth was flat, but I thought he was joking. Crying and bitching, now YouTube is broken. Mutulu's just a monkey. In Tennessee, dude, I heard you look like a crack junkie. That's alright, cause you got no devotion. Go join your boy Craig across the ocean. Which you put y'all to shame. It's a psyop, y'all, Hollywood's to blame. No good reason, except for the fame. You gotta lie to remain in the game. Jumping, slumping, ducking, screwing around, faking the fun. So when the cyberpunk jumps, make the mental triple jump. Selling flat earth's been true from the jump. The NASA trance turns a man into a chump. Don't be a NASA punk. Come on, don't be a Jackson chump. Don't flake out, y'all. Don't be a NASA punk or a Jackson chump. Yeah, do you know what they're doing? They're doing the cock this funk. Don't be a NASA chump. Watch out, old people. Don't be NASA punks. Don't you lose your lunch. Young people, don't fake the funk. Don't be NASA chumps. Canadians, you're actually too darn polite for me to insult. Joe Rogan, are you a NASA punk? Or just a loudmouth chump? Space is stupid. Oh, don't be a NASA punk.
Uh-oh. My shoes. Shoes are too big? Too big. Oh no. It's too hard. Do you need help? Too hard. Oops. Careful. It's too hard. Too hard.